not liking me here. There we go. There we go. Good. Everyone's joining. Everyone's coming on. I'm on. Guess that's the most important thing, right? If I'm not on, then there wouldn't be a reason for a live. I am. I know I'm on. So anyway, how's everyone doing tonight? Got a few things to talk about. 240K. What's that? Make money. What was that? What's the 240 today? The auction? 241. Yeah. So I put that auction up because 3 years ago I was going to 15, 20 auctions a week. Now you're lucky if there's one or two a week. Happened to be two today. I couldn't make the first one, but I did. Andrew went to the first one for me, which we didn't win on, and of course we didn't win on the second one either. But they'll come back again. But what's crazy is that house today. I could have bought that house for $120,000 3 years ago. The way that the market has gone crazy is it's out of whack. It's out of whack. The prices are just out of whack. The inventory's out of whack. It's all false prices. And that's why even today bidding, what I bid 237 on that one. It was a $299 house. So I'm thinking, okay, you clean it up, you sell it, make a few dollars. But it's crazy. The prices are crazy. The auction prices are crazy. But I thought you folks would find that interesting to see how the auctions work in Rhode Island. That's exactly how they work. We just show up and anybody can bid as long as you have your deposit. This particular auction today was $5,000 deposit. Some are 10, some are 15, some are 20, which is interesting. So Andrew looked up the property. Yeah, that was the one. He thought that the property was it's not in a great neighborhood, the problem with that property. So that was the issue with that property, make money, is I guess it wasn't one that we could really sell and flip. So that was his concern with, trying to make some money on it. Where it was, basically that's what I always do. I always look at the property, say, okay, if I'm not going to keep it, can I sell it and make some money on it? Make money, you would understand, makes money. So that's what happened with that one, that particular one. But I always yeah, I know. So actually, I had to dress up today because I'm doing that event at Coventry High School for the Special Olympics. So today was the rehearsal. I actually did a TikTok yesterday when we were setting up the equipment. Today was the rehearsal, so that's why I'm dressed up. I was at Coventry High School this morning for the rehearsal. And then I was there. So that's why I'm dressed up tonight. Friday's actually the event. So, I got something on me. I don't know what is on me. I got some sauce. I think it's sauce from dinner. Believe it or not. I don't know. Oh, actually, it's on my hand. Hold on, I just got to get a napkin. Oh, let's see. I don't have one in here. I am so unprofessional. I'm unprofessional and unprepared. Here we go. I do have a napkin. All right. I just let the dogs in and they had something on them. Who knows what they had on them? Dog shit. Who the hell knows? So I'm not wearing my Under Armour. Well, actually, I'm really not wearing my Under Armour because I do have some Under Armour dress pants. I'm not even wearing those today. I'm wearing jeans. I got jeans on, Levi's. But yeah, just a regular shirt. So yeah, no Under Armour tonight. That's fine. I'm out of uniform, I guess you could say. I'm completely out of uniform. So that was kind of cool to the Jersey Mike's thing for Special Olympics. All the Jersey Mike's in Rhode Island, all the proceeds went to Special Olympics. I thought that was a pretty cool thing yesterday when they sent me that. I got like a news alert, So I said, let me do a TikTok on it, let people know about it, But the like I said, the Special Olympics, I've always supported the Special Olympics. So what's going on is that the Coventry High School, they have a program called Unified Sports. The Unified Sports is we have Special Olympics athletes along with regular high school students. They partner up, team up, whether it's volleyball, basketball. I think they have unified bowling. And it's a really cool program. So a couple of years ago, Ponegantza High School got the award. I was there for that. Did the audiovisual for that one. And this year it's Coventry High School. So somebody was asking me, there were a couple questions on TikTok about that when I did that video yesterday. The screen, the big giant screen, the screen is mine, the staging is mine. I own all the equipment, the sound equipment, because that's the business that I started years ago. And so that's all my, my equipment. And I like it. Oh, you know what I didn't do tonight? I've been doing my music thing lately. So I really like music. I love music. I mean, a lot of people like music, but I like music. I like all sorts of music. So I don't have any one particular taste in music. That's why everybody laughs at me. I can go from Ozzy Osbourne to Neil Diamond. Just that's my mix. So I mix it up. I like a lot of different stuff. Eclectic, the Avett Brothers. But anyway, I appreciate all the likes, by the way. So I got to tell you, I got an update on the Warwick Building Department issue. Look, the building inspector and I, obviously he doesn't like me for whatever reason. And I did a whole series last couple of weeks of the building department, all these things he did to me. Well, one of the things I didn't say is, behind the scenes, let's talk about behind the scenes. The lawyers are talking, the lawyers are negotiating. One of the issues I had was about a year ago, and I think I talked about this. About a year ago, one of my buildings, the building inspector decided that he wanted to do an inspection of my building. Didn't say why, he just felt like he wanted to do an inspection of my building, so I wouldn't let him in. Which I guess I now learned that you don't have to let him in. So I wouldn't let him in. What he did was to circumvent the system is he called the fire department and said, I think there's a fire emergency. You got to go in the building. Now, I will never let the block the fire department from coming in. They can come in anytime they want. And the building inspector knew that. So I did. I told the fire department, yeah, come on in, do your inspection. And, but I'm not letting the building department in. You can come in and do your inspection to make sure it's fire safe. So they did. The fire department came in. The Steve Capalco from Warwick came in and walked through the building along with, he brought the state fire marshal with them, Lieutenant Givens, I think it was, who came in from the state. So they walked through the building. So they found where there were two devices, smoke alarm, hardwired smoke device. The fire alarm system was fine, but you also have hardwired smoke and CO detectors. They wanted them in different locations. They wanted to move them. But to move them, I had to pull a permit to move them. So when I went to pull the permit, back in last May 14th, 2021, almost a year ago, the building inspector, Aldrich Mansion, would not give me the permit. Now, he was using the excuse that the building's only a 5-unit, but I'm using it as an 8-unit. So he was accusing me of illegally having 3 empty extra apartments in the building. So that became a thing, right? That became a huge thing. So he took me to court to get access to the building. Aldrich Mansion did. And we went to court in Warwick, municipal court. And I think I explained it that was the new judge who's some relative of a council person or whatever. But she was never a lawyer. She was always a prosecutor for the state attorney general's office. And I think she taught law or something. So she never was a lawyer where you represent, another side, right? So she comes in, becomes a judge as a prosecutor, gets a paycheck from Warwick. So I went to court. Of course, the deck of cards is already stacked against me, having this judge who is paid by the city, right? So the building department was insisting they needed access to the building. So I lost in court. The judge says, you have to give them access. They want access. It's not safe. You get them. So what I did that day was I immediately appealed it. By appealing it, it goes to district court, which again stopped the building department from coming to my building. As of today, they still have not come into that building. So I appealed it to district court. Since then, as you know, I've been fighting with them, and I posted all the issues, the harassment and this and that. One of the things that he did in his harassment is he wrote a letter to a buyer of one of my properties, defamed my name, slandered my name, got himself in a lot of trouble. So I have to give credit to the lawyer for the city of Warwick. He really is trying to solve the problem. He's been negotiating with my lawyer to solve the problem. And because he knows now there's some liability here. This building inspector, who, by the way, I don't know why they won't fire him. I don't know. I can't. They won't. But anyway, what they did do, though, is which was nice for me, is they settled in district court. We settled out of court, district court. The city acknowledged that my building is an 8-unit, which I always said it was. So the accusation of the 5-unit, and I was breaking the rules, obviously went away. It now has been legally signed off by the judge. It is an 8-unit. So I won that argument. Took me 10 months to win that argument, but I won that argument. And it's because I appealed to district court. That's why I tell people, listen, if you go to municipal court, don't get intimidated by the judge, by the prosecutors. It's municipal court. Okay, it's kitty court. If you want to go to a real court, you appeal your loss and go to district court. District court will always look at just the law. The judges are paid by the state. It's a county court. They're not paid by the city, so you don't have that bias. Okay, it's unbiased, and that's why that was the best thing I could do. What was that? The police are involved. What? I'm missing something in the questions here. The police are involved on what? Hey, what would you do if you had a tenant harassing another tenant by taking down a camera and damage? If tenants are harassing each other, you got to call the police. I mean, you have to call the police. You have to have police. We just had this problem, actually. We had 2 tenants fighting with each other. They call the office. No, they can call us all the time. But our advice will be, if a tenant is doing something, breaking the law to any tenant, and tenant doesn't, whether you happen to live in the same building or you live next door neighbors' houses, you call the police. Okay, start a paper trail. Have a paper trail, and that way you can, you're protecting yourself. Do you have the 3 extra units? So what it is it's an 8-unit building. I've been renting it out as an 8-unit building because when I bought it, it was 8 units. We found documentation back in 1987, before I went, 30 years before I owned it, that it was 8 units. The fire alarm system that was installed back in 2004 or something like that was approved for an 8-unit building. That's why it was ridiculous that the building inspector was not recognizing it as 8 units with me, busting my balls. That's why it was ridiculous. I'm not related to James Butler, the septic guy, but boy, I tell you, I follow him. I'll tell you, he does so many TikToks. He's on there 5-6 times a day, and they're all very interesting. I follow him, and I like him a lot. He's very, very intelligent, very smart. And the well and septic guy, James Butler, I got to tell you something. I really enjoy following him. And I understand that he and a couple other people, I guess, are going to Las Vegas to do some sort of show on April 30th. I was thinking, hey, if I had a couple of days, maybe I'd go and see them. But I do enjoy following them. The 39 unit is going great. Thanks for asking. I think we're up to about 15 units rented right now. Of course, the second floor, we're still working on the deck, so we can't rent the second floor anyway. But the first floor, 20 units, we can rent. We're being very picky as to who we rent to in that property. It is, because it is 40 units. It's 39. Well, it's 39 units, but we are being picky as to who we rent to. Want to make sure we get some good tenants in there. What's happening is that, and I keep talking about this, we have a rule. So one of our rules is this: if you've had an eviction on your record in the last 24 months, we will not rent to you. And we've had so many people apply that have had an eviction in the last 24 months. Now, the reason why we're not even looking at it in the last 24 months, because we know what happened. It's people who didn't pay their rent during COVID for whatever reason. They didn't want to pay the rent, didn't apply for rent relief, and they were not cooperative with their landlords, and they got evicted. So all of a sudden they're going to apply with me? I don't think so. So that's why we have that rule. In the last 24 months, if you were evicted, don't even bother applying with us, because we know why. We went through the same thing. So Rhode Island Housing paid half of the rent. That we're still fighting over the half of the rent, but they did give us half of the rent. So we're waiting for half of the rent now. We're going to get it. It's an ongoing battle. And I've talked about that too. Rhode Island Housing Rent Relief has gotten so much better. They really have. It was a new thing for them too, but they've gotten so much better about paying. There's a face in the door glass. Oh, is there? Where? Is there a face in the door glass, or is that my? Yeah, I'll fix that. There we go. Is that better? Is that my light reflecting off of the door? Unless there was a face, a ghost. Maybe it's a ghost. That's funny. Let me move this over so I can see landlords who don't enforce policies, I tell you, they're stupid. They're stupid, bad landlords. You got to enforce the rules. You got to enforce policies, and by the way, it's not a cop-out. So when we tell the tenants, if you're having a problem with another tenant when we tell you go to the police, it's not a cop-out. What it does is it gives us, the landlord, the evidence to start evicting somebody. I just can't start evicting somebody, go to the judge and say, oh, yeah, they're bad. But no, but if I say, Your Honor, here's 10 police reports. So then that's why it's very important. That's why it's very important to have police reports, have a record of it in a paper trail. So that's what I tell everybody, I'm freezing. I wonder why. Does anybody else see it? Am I freezing? Make money. Make money. Am I freezing? Or okay, yeah, I don't know. That's because I got a good, I have very good internet here, very good Wi-Fi, very good connection. So, okay, all right. Well, I'm sorry if I'm freezing on somebody's, but interesting. I am a little cold. I wouldn't say I'm freezing, but I'm a little cold. All right, a dad joke. Hey, I heard a good one today. What was the one I heard? I heard it move my light up. Why I got to move my light up? Why? What's wrong with my light? What's wrong with my light? Oh, you know what I got to do? I hate this shadow. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. Go to my shadow. Oh, I was about to tell you guys a good joke that I heard today. I'm in my office upstairs, not for me anyway. Jeff, how Dear Heart's going? Dear Heart's is doing well. Dear Heart's is doing very, very well. So what was the joke I wanted to... Oh, so anyway, what did the police find when they dusted Chris Rock's face? Fresh prints. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, okay, well, maybe nobody else liked it. It was just me. Fresh prints, yeah. Oh, boy. Yep, fresh. You guys got it. You guys all knew the joke already. Fine, I won't tell any more jokes. I heard this. I heard it, I think, last night or this morning. I said, that's a funny one. I said, yeah, I know. It was an old joke. It was 2 days old. You're right. I'm way behind on my jokes. Oh, that's funny. Oh, boy. Anyway, that was crazy, though, the other night when Will Smith smacked him. That was crazy. But anyway, how does everybody feel about that, by the way? What's people's opinion on that? I'm curious to hear what other people feel about, who was right and who was wrong there. I mean, I have my opinion. I'll tell everybody my opinion. I mean, I'm just curious to see how people thought about that, was it right for Will Smith to be defending his wife that way, Casey, I agree with you. It's going to hurt his pocket. I think so. Nah, I don't think it was a setup. I think, what? I can tell you, I did it at the very beginning. I thought it was a setup, but then the more you think about it, the more you hear about it. No, I don't think it was a setup at all. I really don't, But I did at the beginning, but now I don't. I think Will Smith just went too far, and Chris Rock handled it very well, though. He really did handle it well. When he turned around, he goes, he just hit the shit out of me. He turned it into a joke, but. And the way it ended was not, you could say it wasn't a setup. And the violence is not okay. They're supposed to be setting an example, these stars. They want to get in the public eye. You got to set an example. And that is not setting an example. What example did he set for kids, So the only thing I got to say is this. Now, I guess, Will Smith's wife has alopecia, which I did not know until after they announced it after the fact. And I guess Chris Rock did not know it. Had he known it and said that joke, it would have been in bad taste. Had Chris Rock known about the alopecia and said the joke, okay, yes, definitely in bad taste. But what's interesting is that she was a guest star. So my wife and I, we watched The Equalizer, with Queen Latifah on Sunday nights. And a couple weeks ago, Jada Pinkett Smith she was on the show. And as a guest star, and she had the shaved head, and I said to my wife, I said, I guess that must be the style now, shaving head. I had no idea either. So yeah, I know Chris Rock tonight. He's actually sold out in Boston. Can you believe it? I know he's selling all his ticket prices went up. The shows got all sold out. So you know what? He got slapped in the face on national TV, and now he's making up for it in the money. But I got to tell you something. I've always liked Chris Rock. I've always thought he was good. If you guys ever want to see something funny, go on YouTube and look for the thing where it says, what to do not to get pulled over by the police. It's a very, very funny bit. Yeah, I just heard about Bruce Willis. That's sad about Bruce Willis. That's really, really sad. That's too bad. I mean, I like Bruce Willis. He's only 67 years old, and I'll tell you, so you hear some sad things, but it just shows you too. I mean, here's a guy who's worth, hundreds of millions of dollars, and if you don't have your health, what do you have? And that's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate for Bruce Willis. Hopefully, I know they said it's what he has, I guess, also leads to either dementia, so it could even be worse. So hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully it's not. It was not planned. I do not think that was planned on Sunday night. I don't think so. I just don't think it was planned. I don't think it was planned, but so that's the story with that, So I think I told everybody I got this new streaming server. I can actually take telephone calls now and talk to people on the phone and interview people, and people can ask me questions. I can ask people questions live. So I figured out how to do that, which is really, really cool because I'm doing that with my podcast. So I figured even on like TikTok now, if somebody, if I was on here and I wanted to talk to somebody, I throw the headphones on. And I can actually do live questions and people can hear the questions, so we can have dialogue. So I think that was kind of cool. Let's see. Will Smith, they're saying, should slap August, the guy that's, yeah, who knows? So they're saying there's some sort of history between the two of them. I don't know what the history is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we could do that. Call Bryan and see if he's at Taco Bell. That's funny. You want me to? I'll call Bryan and see if he's at Taco Bell. Bryan sometimes is on my, he's sometimes on my, watching me live. He could be watching, who knows? What's today, Wednesday? Yeah, he could be watching, So that's funny. Yeah, let's try calling him. That'd be fun. Let me see here how I can do this. You guys are going to think I'm a nut now. See, I need the headphones, I guess, because I have to be able to hear him talking to me, I guess. You guys can hear him too, though. That's the thing, So, maybe I don't need the headphones. I think I can just put the monitor up, I think. Let's see if that works. So I put the monitor up. All right, so let me see. You guys don't care, right? You're not doing anything. Let's just try an experiment. I could give everybody his phone number, right? That'd be fun.
Found.
Oh, that's weird. What'd that say?
No routes found.
No routes found. What the heck is that? Who knows what that was all about? No routes found. I'm dialing the right number. Let's try it again. Oh, all right. Can you guys hear that? The phone ringing? All right, good. Well, he's not answering. Good. Here we go. And it's supposed to be crystal clear, too. He's probably not answering on purpose because, like I said, he usually watches my lives,
Please leave your message for 40126.
Oh, I don't want his number out there, but I will leave him a message, though, see if he calls me back. Bryan, it's Jeff. I'm live on TikTok trying to reach you. Give me a call back. at this number. Call me back at the number. What's this? The new number there, which I don't mind if anybody has this number. I'll let people call me if they want. So what is my new number on here? This way, you guys, if anybody wants to call, I'll give you the number. It's a Magic Jack number. So let's see. I have to call myself so I get the number. That's funny. I got to call myself to get the number. Oh, yeah, it's an easy one. 488-5555. I should have remembered that one. If you guys want to write 401-488-5555. Anyway, we'll see if he calls me back. He must be at Taco Bell. Like you said, makes money. He's at Taco Bell right now. He loves Taco Bell. I'm telling you, 7 days a week, he will eat Taco Bell 7 days a week. I'm not lying. Oh, boy. All right, let's see. Your library. Just summer. There we go. Anyway. Oops, that's not working. Where were we? Well, you know what? He should buy... Listen, if he bought stock in Taco Bell, he would be a millionaire himself right now. He loves Taco Bell, you know? Yeah, Taco Bell doesn't give enough food. Well, that's why, listen, when he buys Taco Bell, we always laugh. So here's a real joke, okay? But it's kind of true. Brian will go through the drive-thru at Taco Bell, but he'll order 5 tacos and, chalupas and all this stuff, right? They'll hand him the bag, and he'll know by the weight of the bag if they screwed him at the drive-thru or not. Just by the weight of the bag and the amount of food he buys, he'll know. And he'll say, you know what, I'm missing something. He'll open up the bag, and sure enough, he's missing something. And that's happened to him a few times just from the weight of the bag. He knows. He's funny. He is so funny. The event that I'm working on at the high school, so what happened was Coventry High School participates in the Special Olympics Unified Sports Program, and they won an award for, I guess, having the most students involved with this program. So what happens is this Friday, the governor of Rhode Island is going to be there. There's going to be some dignitaries from Washington, D.C., people from Special Olympics International are coming. So Friday is the actual event. Yesterday, we went in, we set up the equipment. I think you saw my TikTok. We set up the screen, the stage, sound system. Today they actually had a rehearsal, so I was there today. Now, typically this size of an event, I would have my audiovisual show managers and technicians with me. We happen to be so busy this week. I got a crew in Orlando, Florida. I have a crew in Boston doing an event, and a crew down in Little Rock, Arkansas. So what's happening is we have so many events going on that I'm actually doing this event at Coventry High School, and because we're so busy. And it's interesting because tomorrow we have another one in Providence where Mark, who's my sales manager, who used to be an AV tech, he's actually running that event. So we are so busy right now, we're all stretched thin. So that's what happened with that. So I went and I did the, so I'm running the sound and the video myself at the Coventry High School event. So yesterday, like I said, today was a rehearsal, and yesterday we set up the equipment. So it's exciting. It's fun. It's exciting for the school to win an award like that. It's a national award, so it was kind of nice. We've been lucky, though, because a couple of years ago, Ponegantza High School in Rhode Island won the award. So it's really good. Rhode Island Special, even though Rhode Island is the smallest state in the United States, the Special Olympics program is one of the largest. It's grown over the years. When I started with them 35 years ago, literally, when I started doing events with them, disc jockeying parties, they only had 5 employees. It was a small organization, 1,500 athletes. Now it's up to 5,000 athletes. It's just amazing how it's grown. You're right, makes money. Finally, money's coming in the audiovisual business. The audiovisual business, I've talked about that before, is the very first business I was ever in. It was the most lucrative business. It's how I made my money to buy my real estate. And of course, COVID knocked that right down. Now it's back in business. This week here is the busiest week we've had since early 2019, actually late 2018. So the business is back. I'm really happy about it, the audiovisual business. And so one of the things we're doing to grow that business is I'm buying 2 Jumbotrons, the big giant, they're in a trailer and they go up on hydraulic lifts and they're gigantic 10 by 20 screens. So I'm buying 2 of those because nobody in New England has them. So it's something that I'm going to try investing in, and I'll have them so we can use them and I can market them to, fairs and festivals and concerts. Because nobody in New England has them. So I'm going to buy 2 of them. And in fact, they're coming out of Iowa, I think. The company's in Iowa that we're buying them from. But so the audiovisual business is growing. So just like the real estate, I have to invest in real estate. I have to invest, in the audiovisual business. In Butler Waste, we're buying new trucks. So you have to stay in business, to be competitive. You have to continually, unfortunately, invest your money back into the business. So the Jumbotrons, the big giant outdoor LED screens, they're huge. They're regular video screens, So that's the investment for the audiovisual business. So that's why when people say, how much money do you have? Well, the problem is I keep reinvesting to keep up with the competition and to offer more than what the competition offers. One of the things that you have to spend money to make money. That's right. So a few years ago, in the audiovisual business, to be competitive with the hotels, because the hotels have in-house AV companies that offer the basic stuff, projector, screen, sound. For us to be competitive, we had to come up with ideas to be competitive. So one of the things we do is we offer the streaming of the events on the internet. That's something that we've done through COVID. We did it prior to COVID, where we do live streaming. So people that can't attend the conference can watch it obviously on the computer. We've also done 2-way streaming where, they are very expensive, make money, you're not kidding. 2-way streaming. So we can actually have a presenter at their office or at their home somewhere else present. We put them up on the big screens in the conference. It looks just like they're there. So that's something that we offer, a service that we offer that other in-house AV companies don't offer. So that helps us get the work. The other thing that we offer is a lot of video recording, video editing, that type of thing, which normally the in-house companies don't offer that. So that's why I look to offer things that people can't get, like the Jumbotrons. That's something that people... just not everybody can go out and buy a Jumbotron or whatever, and not that you would. So, I know, huh? Hang up bed sheets, outside. That's funny. Yeah, we used to do that. Hang up a bed sheet outside and show the movie on the bed sheet. I know what you're talking about. But anyway, so that's the story with that. So getting back to the Warwick thing. So yeah, I'm really happy that we won that argument in court with the 5-unit and the 8-unit. So it is 8 units. They recognize the 8 units. So I won that argument, and that was my point about last week. I said it 2 or 3 times. People get in any city or town, people get intimidated by city officials, town officials. I'm taking you to court, blah, blah. My attitude is appeal it. Go to district court, let them decide. And that's what happened in this case here. I mean, they really thought they had me dead to rights. That day when we were in court and the judge said, you have to let them in. I'm ordering you to let them in. You set up a date right now. And then I said, well, Your Honor, can I appeal it? And then everyone's face dropped because I appealed it. And yes, you can appeal it. And when you appeal it, now I've equaled the playing field. That's exactly what I did. I equaled the playing field. So, anyway, see what any other questions I missed here. I just want to make sure today I saw some questions on my phone. So like I said, when people ask me questions sometimes I do the video responses, but sometimes it's nice to save it for a live and answer them on a live, Do you think you will still have, yes, yeah, oh yeah. So here's the problem. Well, yes and no. So let me tell you something positive that just happened last week. Warwick schools. So what they do is the Warwick schools, they have 2 high schools. They used to have 3 high schools, but Warwick consolidated, and they have 2 high schools now. Now, for 19 years, I provided the sound, staging, lighting, video for their graduation. It was a bid situation. We won the bid for 19 years in a row. COVID hit. They did the virtual graduation, so nothing happened. This year, we won. They moved, so they decided to move outside now. They're not using the gymnasium at the Community College Rhode Island anymore. They moved outside to this natural amphitheater setting. It's at the Aldrich Mansion. It's a big mansion. It's owned by the Diocese of Providence. It's in Warwick, and the background is the ocean. It's right on the bay. So what happened was they moved it to outside there. That's, in fact, they're getting the jumbotrons for their graduation. So my point is that I won the contract this year for the Warwick High School graduations. So it's a very positive thing. That's why my only issue is really with the building inspector and the building department of Warwick. The rest of Warwick, listen, I love Warwick. I grew up in Warwick. My businesses are in Warwick. Warwick's a very, it's a great city. It's unfortunate, like I said, just some management issues, which I think can get corrected in the next election, unless the mayor now steps up and starts doing the right thing. But I've always enjoyed Warwick. I'm in this business because of what Warwick. When I was in high school, I told the story. I was a sophomore in high school. I got a job in the auditorium running a follow spotlight in the auditorium because they used to rent the auditorium out. And that's what led me to starting my AV business. So, that's how that story happened. So Warwick's positive. Speaking of that, I had that series on the building inspector and Warwick that I put on TikTok, which I stand by everything. Obviously, I gave the update tonight where I won that court case. So obviously, some of what I said, or most of what I said, is absolutely true, right? So the issue is that Warwick has some Facebook pages. There's a bunch of Facebook pages, and I'm sure all these cities have it, but Warwick has one called the Positive Negative of Warwick. One's the Warwick Community Facebook page. There's one, a Positive Warwick, and all they do on that Facebook page, it has like 27,000 followers. I was pretty impressed when I saw it. It's all positive comments about Warwick, which is impressive. It's nice to just have a Facebook page dedicated to positive things about a city. So you can't put anything negative. You have to talk about positive things. You can't put anything. So I can't go on there and talk about my problems. I would go on there and just put positive things. So I joined that page the other day. I have not posted anything on the page yet, but I will post the positive story about the fact that I was awarded the graduation and I started in high school and how it led to me with my business. That's a positive story. So I will tell that story. The other story I will tell is how I met my wife in Warwick. She's from Warwick, but at Rocky Point Park Amusement Park, when it was open, how I met my wife. So that's a positive story. So I will tell that on the Positive Warwick Facebook page. I save the negative stuff for the other Facebook pages, that the Positive Negative and the Real Warwick and all that. So that's where I post the other stuff about the building inspector. So that's the story. What state do you have to pick up the Jumbo TV? So I think that, they're built in Iowa, but I know they have another location in New Jersey. So I don't know if it's going to be coming from Iowa or New Jersey. But yeah, I'm going to have to go and get them. So what they are is they're giant trailers. They're giant, big box trailers, and the TV actually lifts up out of the trailer. That's how the Jumbotrons work, So here's the story with my parents. My parents moved back. They came home, and they were home temporarily. They had to go back to Florida because my brother's getting married next month. So they came home. It's cold here. The weather has not broken yet. They've never been home this early, though. They usually don't come home until the middle of May, the end of May. They came home early. Of course, we had a cold snap this week, and so they decided they wanted to go back to Florida for a few more weeks. So I did. I bought them 2 plane tickets and drove them to the airport, and they went back to Florida yesterday. So that's a true story. And they went back to Florida, and they'll stay there till my brother's wedding, then they'll come back again. But they're cold. They're so used to the warm weather. They can still play golf there. They can still play tennis there. They came here for Benjamin, my son's confirmation. We had a great weekend. I'm glad they were here, and it worked out well. Then they went back. So this way, my guys, we could focus on some things. There's a couple little finishing touches in the condo that we have to do, minor things. The problem is, we ordered special order shower doors 2 months ago. They're still not in yet. So that's a little frustrating, One cabinet, special order cabinet, not in yet because of the whole supply chain crap, So that's right. But they're happy. They love the place. So it's built on a trailer like a carnival ride. Exactly. It's built right on a trailer, but it's a box trailer, so it's closed in and it lifts up out of the trailer. But yeah, just like a carnival ride, makes money. When what I'll do, I'll get some pictures. I can put them up on, I'll put them up on the screen next time I'm on, with that. Oh, I was going to answer some questions. That's right. Oh, so this was just yesterday when I did the TikTok of the setup at Coventry High School. So people asking some questions. Oh, this guy made a comment. As the owner of several businesses, I'm pretty sure you work all the time. So I got to tell you something. I don't work as much as I used to. Do I work? Yeah. This morning I had to get up at 7 o'clock, which wasn't bad. Go to Coventry High School, 7:30 for the rehearsal. I was there till about 11:30. Left there, came home for lunch actually. Then at 1:30, I went to my office for about a half hour. Then I had to go pick up Benjamin at high school because Benjamin actually worked today at the ice cream shop. I brought him to the ice cream shop. He opened the ice cream shop. I went back to my office. I was at my office till 6 o'clock and then picked up Benjamin because he worked 3 to 6, 2:30 to 6. I picked up Benjamin and then we came home. So today, that was today's schedule. It wasn't a rough day. Tomorrow, the Jumbotrons are weatherproof. Yep, they're outdoor. Just like when you go to Fenway Park, the big Jumbotron, same type of thing. It's an outdoor video screen, but these are mobile. They're on trucks, trailers, so you can move them around. But yeah, same thing. Just on a little smaller scale because those are huge. At Gillette Stadium, they're huge. These are a little smaller, but they're still big, 10 by 23. They're good size. Which is big. But so anyways, that was my schedule today. Tomorrow will be a normal schedule. I'll go in the office, work all day. So I gotta say, I don't work now probably more than 40 hours a week because I have such great managers managing everything, so I don't have to. During the time I'm working, I'm being pulled in 100 different directions, obviously, because we have so many projects going on in so many businesses. So during the day, I am pulled all day long during that 9 or 10 hour period. But like right now, I'm home, doing this thing here and I'm enjoying it, I had dumpsters all day. You had dumpsters all day. Okay, well that's good. You had dumpsters all day. You delivered 6 dumpsters? Wow, okay, that's pretty good. 6 dumpsters. What size were they? What size dumpsters did you deliver today? Oh, you saw my trucks today? Oh, cool. That's good. Saskatoon, really? Okay. Saskatoon, how's it going? 10s and 15s, yeah. So, those seem to be the most popular ones right now, the 10 and 15s. People, cleaning out their house, spring cleaning, whatever. 10s and 15s, and of course, roofs, 15 would be good for a roof, So yeah, I got to tell you that even the dumpster business has exploded right now, too, the last few weeks. It's just out of control, which is, good news because it was frustrating before that when it was just billing, well, should I keep it? What should I do with it? Should I sell it? Blah, blah. But it's growing. It's really, it's growing on me. So I'm starting to get used to it now. Part of the reason is because I don't see the trucks anymore. They're at their new location. So I don't see them when I go to the office. So, if they're, Lincoln Creamery open today. Yeah, Lincoln Creamery is a good ice cream shop. That's a very nice ice cream shop. Lincoln Creamery, they open today. So yeah, this is the time of the season for the ice cream shops to open. My Hershey store, I'm waiting. Supposedly everything is arriving at the beginning of next week. All the new equipment's arriving next week. The signage from Hershey is arriving next week. So hopefully when that gets here next week, I'll get my building inspections from Warwick and I'll pass with flying colors, right? And then I can open up the store. So we'll see. Oh, yeah. Make money. You are all over it. You are all over it. That's a TikTok in itself. So what he just said is don't use the gas station in Plainfield Pike. Diesel expensive, especially the mobile gas station. He's right. So Plainfield Pike in Rhode Island is where the landfill is, where all the private landfills are recycling. Everything is off of Plainfield Pike, right? So what do the gas stations do? They gouge the trucks because they know the trucks are running up and down Plainfield Pike. So, we did make some money. We're actually signing a contract. We're getting a big 1,000-gallon gas tank at our new location, and we're going to get that filled and buy the gas 1,000 gallons at a time, which we save a lot of money, and our trucks will fuel up there because A, it will save time from the trucks driving around to get gas, and B, we're buying in bulk now, so we're saving some money. But you are absolutely right. You are right on it. Those gas stations in Plainfield Pike take full advantage of the trucks up there. So our guys, so what we did is Brian's been excellent about this. So Brian, he downloaded Gas Buddy app. And he uses it, and it actually has worked to save us. You know, the Gas Buddy app, I guess, shows you where the cheapest gas is locally or whatever it is, and that's where he sends the trucks to. But when we get this new tank in, we'll be saving some money with the new gas tank, the diesel fuel tank. I don't have any properties in Stonington. But I got to tell you something. I love Stonington. Stonington's beautiful. I drive through Stonington, obviously, to get to the casinos, and that's like, you know, God's country. I love. So I've told the stories about my Mini Cooper convertible, which I don't have anymore. I do have my Audi convertible, and I love taking rides out into Connecticut, the country's roads. It's beautiful. It's fun. It's a nice day, nice drive, and so yeah. Stonington's a really, really nice area. I do like Stonington. And it's easy to get to. 95 South, there you go. What's the exit? Exit 92, something like that, Stonington? I might be off, but I think it's exit in Connecticut. So anyway, let's see, what other question do I have? How do you finance a flip house? So I finance most of my flip houses. I finance with private money. I've mentioned that before. I use private money. If it's a real inexpensive house, I may finance it myself. But most of the time, 9 out of 10, I use private money. I use private investors. I use their money to buy the house. I use my own money to fix up the house, and I sell it. The private investor gets his money back. I get my money back for fixing it up, and then I look for the next one. But typically, I use private money for the flip houses. For me, A, you know what? It's interest only. It's a tax write-off. And B, I'm using somebody else's money. It keeps my money flowing. So I like using the investors. Plus, they're there when I need them. I built up some excellent relationships with investors. And, hey, I'll tell you a small world story, right? Here's a small world story. I don't have a mobile gas card, money. I don't have them. Why? Do you save money if you have because mobile, you know, is typically more expensive, you know? So I got to tell you a small world story. So my brother, I have 4 brothers. One of my brothers, he lives in Gloucester, Massachusetts. So he is a CEO of a software company, and he's been successful. That's what he does. He's a CEO of software companies. He's always been Silicon Valley type of thing. So anyway, this company that he's a CEO of now, they do, hopefully I can explain it right. They provide a service to mortgage companies that speeds up the process of processing the mortgages. It's software, and it's a new thing. He's been doing it for a year now, and he is the president of this company. They're based out of California, but my brother lives in Massachusetts. He has to commute back and forth. But anyway, here's the small world. My brother was speaking at a conference the other day. It might have been Florida. I don't know. And one of my investors from Rhode Island, a wealthy investor, was at the conference, and he texted me. He goes, "Hey, I just saw your brother speak at this conference I'm at." So that was a small world, you know what I'm saying? Thing that was pretty cool. But anyway, so the way I've found investors in different ways. I will tell you that word of mouth, attorneys. So if you have a really good corporate attorney, attorneys always know somebody who's a private investor. So if you have an attorney, they're the best one to call. If you need an attorney, you call the attorney. And by the way, I'm looking to buy this house. Do you know any private investors? So attorneys are a great way to find a private investor. Sometimes if you're using a mortgage broker, a private mortgage broker for different things, they know private investors, because sometimes if you're getting a mortgage and you don't have enough money to put down, they'll find you a private investor to help you put the money down. You know, I've never, and Facebook. So I did find a couple of private investors on Facebook Marketplace once, and on Craigslist. Craigslist was always a good place. I will tell you, I've never had any luck with any of the national private investors. You know, these people that advertise, you know, they're in California loaning in Rhode Island and Wisconsin loaning in Florida. I've never had any luck with them. I've never done any business with any of them. Tried, but it just doesn't work out. The fees are too expensive. They want to do appraisal fees. It's I don't know if it's a scam, but it's never worked out. It's always the local investors that have worked for me. They know the area. If you call me, give them the address of a house, they're going to know the area. It's so much easier for them to invest. So if you're going to look for an investor, you can go on Craigslist and search for private money. They're on there, okay? And then and that's what you do. Or you ask your lawyer if they know any private investors. one of my private investors I actually met him at the auction one time. What happened was he actually had foreclosed on somebody, and he was selling the house, and I bought the house at the auction. He introduced himself to me, and ever since then, 4 or 5 years now, we've been doing many, many, many deals together. And once you find a private investor, you build a relationship with them, use them, even if you don't need them. Like in some cases, I don't need to use their money, but I want to because I want to keep the relationship going. And it has worked for me. It has worked for me. What's the going rate for a 4-bedroom apartment in the west end of Providence? 4-bedroom apartment in the west end of Providence, I got to say, is probably $1,400, $1,500 in the west end. Again, it depends on parking, depends on how many apartments are in the complex, if it's new, if it's old. But the west end of Providence, I would say $1,500 because you can rent the house for $2,500. So I gotta believe $1,400, $1,500, and of course that would be with no utilities. So utilities included, obviously, would be more money, but no utilities, I think that's about right. So what's terrible? What's terrible? Best Hunter said something that's terrible. What did I miss? Do you what the new Boston mayor was it making restaurants? No, I didn't know. So the mayor was making them pay $7,500, or was that like a town ordinance? I didn't know about that. Is that like an ordinance they passed? Because I know during COVID in Rhode Island, the governor Raimondo at the time, she's now Secretary of finance for the president's administration. I don't follow her, but she's the finance secretary. Anyway, she was the governor at the time. She issued an executive order saying for the cities and towns to allow outdoor seating without fees. So I don't know if that order is up. I have not heard if that order is up or not yet. I do outdoor seating at my ice cream shops. I always did, so I didn't really need that order. But that's a lot of money, $7,500 for outdoor dining. What if you're a little tiny small place? You can't afford that. That's awful. You know what? Best Hunter 08, you are right. That's terrible. It is. So rate of return on a flip. So that's interesting. A rate of return on a flip. So typically I would like to make 10% on my money. So if I paid $150,000 for it, I want to make at least $15,000. I'm going to make it worth my while. If I pay $200,000, I want to make $20,000. Typically, it's more than that, but it all depends on what type of flip it is. But the minimum I want to make is 10%, the minimum. And I've made 15, 20% on most of them. So that's the thing with that. So. What is this? Okay, can I get into ownership with BO? Got to have pizza for the Butler show. Do you have pizza? Are you eating pizza? Make money? Is that what you're doing? You're funny. Gotta have pizza. That Don Bryan, he didn't answer me when I called him before. I wonder what's up with that. He's unbelievable. Oops. I'm calling myself. I'm trying to call Bryan. Try it again. He's ignoring me on purpose. I did look at my text. Oh, hold on. Let me see. What do I?
Hello?
Hey, how you doing? You're live with me on TikTok.
Yes, how's it going?
Good. Were you watching me?
I know, I wasn't actually driving right now, but I when you called earlier, I tried to call the number back and it went right to voicemail and it said something about how it cannot connect to this Magic Jack user at this time.
Yeah, this is my new phone for my podcasts.
Excellent.
Yeah, Make Money's having pizza. I hope he saves a piece for me. He's only had one piece so far.
Where did you get this pizza from?
Well, they thought you were at Taco Bell and you weren't answering because you were going through the drive-thru.
I'm actually going there right now.
Are you really?
I really am. I'm not even joking.
Yeah. You're at Taco Bell?
Not yet. I'm driving there now.
So I told everybody, Bryan, when you go through the drive-thru, when they screw you.
Yes, based on the weight of the bag. Yep,
See, what did I tell you? That's right, based on the weight of the bag.
Tim thinks it's hilarious because you've seen me do it a couple times where I'm like, yeah, this isn't enough, and then I go through it and I'm like, yeah, you're missing 2 burritos, or I know exactly what they're missing too. Okay.
See? By the way, Make Money is endorsing, he's suggesting to us, Silver Lake Pizza is a good place to have pizza. Now, I know it is because I remember somebody bought a pizza at Silver Lake Pizza, and it was excellent. It was excellent. So, of course, that's not far from Make Money. Very convenient for him to get Silver Lake Pizza.
Yeah, where is that, Cranston?
It's in Providence. You know where it is? It's down near Laurel Hill Avenue, down the
I was going to say Dyer Street area, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly. Yep. You know it. But anyway, so everyone was asking for you. So let me get Bryan on the phone,
Yeah, I think I actually tried to sell them a dumpster once. I think that's why I know where that is.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, I was on that street for a while. There's a lot of restaurants and stuff over there.
Yeah, it's on the Providence-Cranston line. Make Money, Yep. And that's how, because Make Money, you took the picture of my house over there that time up on Laurel Hill Avenue, the haunted house, right? Didn't you take a picture of my haunted house up there? Oh, boy. It's hard to find good people. Oh, so this is, Bryan, this is very interesting. Somebody just wrote, believe it or not, it's hard to find good pizza place here in Wisconsin. Now, Bryan can talk to that because Bryan grew up in Wisconsin, right?
I was born and raised in Wisconsin. I lived until I was 10.
That's right. Yep, you were born and raised in Wisconsin. But so let me ask you a question. Is Crystal correct that you can't get good pizza in Wisconsin?
It depends on where you are. Where in Wisconsin is she from? What
I don't
city?
know. So where in Wisconsin are you from, Crystal? Yeah, it's funny. It's like my parents' Chinese food. We are so lucky. We have so many good Chinese restaurants here in Rhode Island.
Yep.
But my
Chocolate Garden and House of Wu are two of the best.
Yeah, Crystal is from River Falls, Wisconsin. River Falls, Wisconsin.
All right. I grew up in Germantown, which is right next to Menominee Falls, about 20 miles west of Milwaukee.
So are there a lot of falls in Wisconsin?
There's quite a few falls. Yeah, there's also dells and lakes and stuff like that there too. So.
Okay, a lot of cheese too, or no?
Quite a bit of cheese. Lots of cows.
Yeah. So listen, Make Money. So Make Money. I was talking about the jumbotron, Bryan, which you've been helping me get, right? So
yes.
What Makes Money was thinking that if we can't get a jumbotron, maybe we can use your bed sheets.
First off, I have a normal queen size bed. It's a sturdy queen size bed, but it's normal.
It's fit for a queen, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, lots of cows. So Crystal said lots of cows in Wisconsin too.
There are a lot. Yes.
Yeah.
and miles and miles of cornfields too.
So that's funny. So what happened was, Bryan is my nephew. Crystal, Bryan's my nephew. His father, my brother John, who's my oldest brother, he actually moved to Wisconsin when he got out of college, and he is an engineer. So he was an engineer at a place in Wisconsin at the time. So that's how come Bryan was born and raised in Wisconsin. And then they smartened up and they moved back to Rhode Island. Right?
Yeah.
So listen, you got to tell us what you're ordering at Taco Bell. People are asking.
I don't know if I want to give away the state secrets yet.
Well, it's not a secret. What are you getting?
Well, I'm getting stuff with Tim. He's getting 2 taco supremes, soft taco supremes.
Yeah.
And 2 quesadillas. Which, by the way, he was very disappointed the other night. He went to go to Taco Bell last week, and because he doesn't have the mobile app, he couldn't order the quesadillas, which I didn't realize you have to have the mobile app for.
Really?
Yep.
And if you don't have the mobile app, what happens?
You can't order. You get to the window. That's a mobile app only thing. That's what he was told. So he changed his order at the window and he told him that.
That's funny.
My go-to item is the chicken and nacho cheese chalupa supreme. You modify that now because it's not really a menu item anymore. But I base a lot of the products that Taco Bell will release.
Yep.
As compared to the dawn of the Crunchwrap Supreme, such as that is the best since the dawn of the Crunchwrap Supreme, which most people know was in the year 2000. So that's when I base any new item on Taco Bell menu.
So listen, Brian. If you ever went on Jeopardy and they had Taco Bell questions, you'd be winning. You'd be winning double Jeopardy, triple Jeopardy. By the way, you got some fans on here. You know, Kraft Burgers just said Big Puma's in the house.
Yes, that is. That's Kraft Burgers.
Those are your friends, right? Kraft Burgers, right?
Yep. Kraft Burger in Pawtucket, best burgers in the state.
Yep. And you met them right when you worked at Chili's. Right? Yeah.
Yep. So Matt was my manager at Chili's, and Carrie's one of my best friends from Chili's, and they got married several years later, and they started the business before that, and it's doing really well. So every time I go in there, it's busy. Their nachos are amazing, and their burgers the best I've ever had.
Okay. All right.
I'll tell you what's pretty wild, though, is Matt's son, I don't know if he's still in the kitchen, but he was, and he was the only person that could do my country burger the way I like it because I do the fried egg on top. But him and Matt are experts at preparing that without cracking the egg.
You know, I was just thinking about it. We might have to start a whole nother series just Brian talking about food. Just a whole series.
I could do some talking about food.
I'm gonna have to start a whole YouTube channel just from a podcast with Brian talking about food.
I can talk about food and stout beer. I could talk about that for a long time.
So Stanley Hamburger in Central Falls, Rhode Island. Have you ever heard of them? Makes money.
I've never heard of them. I'll have to give them a shot.
Okay, yeah. Listen, if somebody's gonna give him a shot, it's gonna be Brian. You know. But that's great. I'm glad that your friends are on here from, that's really good. So, Kraft Burgers. Yeah, no, I have not been there. We talked about going there, but you have not taken me there.
I will take you there soon.
You only told me about that's how I knew about them from Chili's, because I know you told me the story.
The problem is that you're such a big fan of Greg's that's where we usually go when we go to eat.
Well, it's only because it's down the street. It's convenient for me.
No, I know. Well, it's like my father, it's funny because Tim makes fun of me because whenever I go out to dinner with my father, we always end up going to Dave's right up the street from near the airport.
Right.
So,
but you know what's funny about your family? Let's talk about your father. How about Subway? Talk about him and Subway. Go ahead.
Yeah. So he loves Subway. He gets Subway all the time. And I think Subway's terrible. Sorry if anybody's a Subway fan out there. I apologize. But I worked 15, 16 years at a D'Angelo. I was a general manager of a D'Angelo, and it's just you can't compare to a microwave steak and cheese to a real steak and cheese on a grill. D'Angelo has.
Oh, you're being a little critical.
Well, listen, I'll tell you, the other thing that bothers me about Subway is that they always advertise, fresh and all that stuff, and you're not getting the high quality ingredients that like a Josie Mike's or a D'Angelo or even a Firehouse Subs offers, and you get half of the product of what the other companies offer for the same price.
Well, Brian, we know that eating healthy is your number one priority.
100%, all the time. I am the world's most knowledgeable fat person. I've said this many times.
That's right.
I eat like crap, but I know I'm eating like crap. So
right. By the way, if people have not met Brian yet, we did a TikTok live. It's on my YouTube channel. If you haven't met Brian, picture Peter Griffin.
With a beard.
That's right, with a beard. That's right. Yeah. No, you know what, Crystal, we do
I'm
not.
also known as the Duncan Defender in some of your circles.
That's right, the Duncan Defender, because you got wiped out by the plow that day.
Right.
Taco John's. Crystal's asking if we have any Taco John's around here. We don't. I guess must be in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Taco John's. That's funny, but anyway. So earlier before I called you, we were talking about the audiovisual being busy. Of course, today you just told me you sold a show in May, right?
I did sell another show. Yep, a show in May. Yep. That's
good. Where is it?
That show is in Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay. All right, good. Yep. So you can go visit your buddy Tom Brady.
I can Tampa Bay is what I'll call it now. But yeah,
Taco Bell. But anyway, well, Brian, I wanted to catch you because I wanted to. Oh, let's see. Shakery says hi, Brian. Shakery says hi, Brian. Of course, that's very nice. That and then hey, makes money. When are we going to go to the casino? That's what I want to ask you. Makes money. When you go. The 7 was just for the restaurants in the north end of Boston. Oh, okay. So what happened, Brian, was somebody just said on my on TikTok that the mayor of Boston is charging $7,500 a year for restaurants to have outdoor seating.
$7,500 a year.
Yeah, sounds a little steep, doesn't it?
That's unbelievable. That is ridiculous.
Oh,
I would.
somebody was, well, Brian, here's another one that you can comment on. Somebody just said Dave's Marketplace is great for pizza and stuffed clams. What's your comment on that?
I did work at Dave's. I was in the deli of the Cranston Dave's. Anybody that's a follower there, shout out to you. It was an awesome experience. I can comment and compliment the staff and the management on down. The ownership, they do care about the people. But the thing about Dave's is that they genuinely do use high-end product. And that's part of the reason why, like she said, the pizza is great. It really is good. My favorite part about it is that sometimes, I get, a slice of pizza at the end of the day before they toss it away. Probably shouldn't admit that because I don't think we're supposed to do that anymore. But, it's still good when I work there.
All right. I like Dave's pre-made food. I think it's excellent. In fact, you know what? For our employee party every summer, I know Chris orders the dessert trays from Dave's.
She does. Yep, absolutely. They do a lot of good stuff in bakery. Everything is made in house. Everything's made. It's actually made in East Greenwich as a commissary, and they make everything that's. Any Dave's product is actually like almost homemade. It's, made in a commissary, but same thing. It's handmade. It's not. I'm not buying a product that's relabeled.
Brian makes money. Listen, he and I. You know what? We must be brothers from another mother. Because you want to know what he just wrote on here? Do you want to know what he just wrote on here? He wrote, Brian eats a lot of food, but are your dumpsters at those restaurants? You understand what he's saying, don't you?
Yeah, no, I get what he's saying. I will admit that not in most of these restaurants we're talking about. Taco Bell, I did try to sell to a couple of Taco Bells, but for the most part, the ones in Rhode Island are all the same group, and they put that out to bid every so often. But it's when the last time we was out to bid was when we were first starting, and we didn't meet what they wanted for criteria. They didn't know who we were. Like we didn't have a long enough track record, stuff like that. Same thing with Dunkin' Donuts, real difficult for a lot of those as well, because, they want to know how long you've been in existence, and then they'll research it. So, and it's, we've got, I know you've talked about this many times, but, we grew from, 50 to 60 stops to, we have 500 customers now, and inside of a year and a half. That's pretty damn impressive. And I think you said it the other night when you were doing a video about the trucks from M&M. We did get lucky that M&M, unfortunately went out of business. It became our benefit because we were able to get all those dumpsters, and a lot of their customers, needed service, which we were able to provide. And there's been a few bumps along the way, but for the most part, I feel like a lot of our customers are very happy with us. So
no, I think you're right, but it's just interesting. So it makes money. The reason why I made that comment is because Brian will tell you that was one of the big pet peeves with me with my salespeople. That listen, we patronize the people that patronize us. I have tenants that have restaurants, right? So where do I eat? I eat at the tenants restaurants. You want to support the people that support you. So you're right. We have tried to sell dumpsters to some of the restaurants that we like to go to and eat at. And but who's the one? Yeah. So we have a couple of restaurants though, Brian, don't we? Good restaurants.
We have several. Yeah, we have several. Coffee shop down in North Kingstown, Something's Brewing. Great coffee, nice little place. Kirsten is the manager there. I actually was one of the people I sold to when I was on the road sales. We have Tomaselli's over in Cranston, great Italian restaurant. We've got a lot of places. Putting me on the spot here.
No, I hear you. I'm trying to have you. I'm putting you on the spot.
No, I'm trying. We have a lot though.
Do we still have that one? Do we still have the one in Providence? Was it in Providence or North Providence? I forget.
We got Skyline. We got Lola's. Lola's is in Smithfield.
Okay.
Lola's Cantina Lounge. Yep, they're one of our better customers.
All right.
They're one of their owners does order roll-offs from us a lot, so we appreciate that.
Yeah.
The dumpsters. Yeah, we got this.
So it's interesting in the waste business too, because I've talked about this too. Restaurants have heavy garbage, so they have to pay a little bit more because their garbage is heavy. You're throwing away all the plates of food and this and that.
It's dense.
What?
They're garbage. It's very dense.
Yeah, dense. That's a good term for it. Very good term for it. Hey, Kraft Burgers told me the first beer is on him, so I'm going to go there and I'm going to have my first beer ever, and it'll be on him.
Then we'll definitely be going there, so you can have They have a lot of beer on tap, a lot of draft beer, a lot of bottled, but a lot of draft beer there.
All right. So I was telling everybody. I don't know if everybody knows the story about it. So I don't drink beer. In fact, I don't think I've. Well, I did have a beer once. So here's what the funny thing is. I never got acquired a taste for alcohol, even though I owned a nightclub. Never really acquired a taste for alcohol. If I could taste the alcohol, I wouldn't drink it. So I drink a lot of Di Serrano and ginger ale, a lot of foo-foo drinks, I guess you would call it, right? Frozen mudslides, all those type of things. I drink the foo-foo drinks. So about a month ago, Carissa and I and the kids, we went to Texas Roadhouse. So we're at Texas Roadhouse, and we're sitting there, and we're ordering our food, and then the waitress came over, can I get you the drinks? So everyone ordered the drinks. So above Carissa's head was a Coors Light sign. So I said, do you have Coors Light on draft? She says, yes. I said, I will have one of those. She goes, small or tall? I said, I'll take a tall. So Carissa looked at me. She goes, I've known you 20 years, 25 years. You've never ordered a beer ever, ever, ever. I said, I want to try one. And I got to tell you something, I really enjoyed it. It was a nice cold beer, and I don't know why all of a sudden now I enjoy beer. And that's a true story. And I never had beer before, ever.
I can tell you right now that Kraft will have a beer, whatever your taste is, they will have a beer that fits that.
Oh, good. Good.
The selection is and I'm not just pitching that because I know them. It's their selection is really.
Yeah. Yep. So anyway, Waste Management has a horrible customer service. Oh, that's again Crystal from Wisconsin. I guess they have Waste Management. They give horrible customer service.
Yeah, the biggest problem with Waste Management is the same problem you run into with a lot of the national companies. Is when you call in, you're not dealing with somebody local. You're dealing with somebody who might be in Iowa and you might be in California. You just get bounced from phone to phone. You can get a local salesman usually, but it takes a while to get to them. You get 2 phone calls before you get them, and it's the same problem. Like we actually we work with Republic, and their customer service is better than Waste Management, but they're national. They're really big, so we do get customers that complain the same thing, and I'll say, oh no, you're not getting the right person. I got a good relationship with a couple of the people there, so
yeah. Actually, and I'll explain that too. So Republic, people have probably seen the Republic trucks. They're a national waste company. Republic, what will happen is if there's an area where they don't have a lot of customers, they actually will subcontract us to handle their customers for them, and that's why we do some work for Republic. And also we have some national waste companies who will hire us to go empty the trash. For instance, we go to all the Chase banks, all the new Chase banks, right?
Yeah, we have several Chase banks. Yep.
So same thing. So that's a national account, But anyway, Make Money, you're right. So Make Money sent me a video a couple weeks ago where there was trash left in his driveway at his where he lives, and it was Waste Management. So that's why he was just even in Rhode Island they leave trash in the driveway. So from Wisconsin to Rhode Island, Waste Management leaves trash in the driveway. That's funny, and I've been So anyway. Oh, by the way, 57 beers on tap at Kraft Burgers. 57. That's a lot. You didn't know that, Brian, did you? You only tried 1 or 2.
I did not know that.
Oh,
I knew they had a lot. I didn't realize there was 57.
By the way, Grinzia asked if we're hiring at our AV company. Yes, we are. We always have openings in the AV company. We're looking for technicians, experienced technicians, AV technicians. We're actually also looking for a production manager for the office to work in the office to help put together the shows before we actually leave. Logistics, hiring the labor. Sometimes we rent equipment or buying equipment. Booking plane tickets. What else is there, Brian? You can help me answer that one too. What else do we do in the office and getting ready for the show?
That's a lot of what goes on. Booking plane tickets, logistics, warehouse management, just trying to figure out what we got, available. Do we need to rent something? Do we need to buy something? That kind of stuff. Obviously the final say is in Jeff's hands on buying and all that, but that's a lot of what they would do. Exactly
right.
What you just described.
Yep. And by the way, somebody suggests that you need to get a Spanish girlfriend to cook you real homemade tacos.
I think that's a good idea. I like that idea.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not opposed to that idea.
Yep.
Yep. and it can be any Spanish. I don't, I don't discriminate as to a particular country. So it doesn't have to be Mexico or anything like that. It can be anything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, by the way, so Big Pappy, the Yorkie, said he was a seafood guy. I guess I don't know if it was at Dave's, but also, I got to mention this. Jen, Market Basket has amazing pre-made, ready-to-eat meals. Yes, they do, and they also have an excellent deli in Market Basket. So I went to Market Basket for the first time a few weeks ago with my wife, the new one here in Warwick, and it was unbelievable. Have you been to Market Basket, Brian?
Once. It is quite the experience, and what I was amazed by. I know you guys will all be shocked to hear this. But the frozen pizza section, it's not just a section, it's an entire aisle.
So did you get lost in that aisle for a while?
I got lost, yes, and yes, I did.
Oh, hey, so makes money. So I did a video, Brian, this is so funny that you're on tonight. This is so funny. I did a video a couple weeks ago about the snack closet in my house. Did you see the TikTok that I did?
I did, yes.
Okay,
Yep.
so make money just...
The vaunted snack closet.
So make money just asked, what about the treats closet, right? Why don't you tell the story, right? How do I pay you when you watch the house?
Pretty much I watch the house, sometimes it gives me a little extra for pizza or whatever, but mostly it's as long as the snack closet is full, I'm willing to watch the dogs.
That's right. So when we travel for the 3 and 4 day weekends, Brian is the one who takes care of our house and our dogs, and it's all you can eat. So it's like a buffet. Think about it, it's a 3-day buffet for them. And I have to keep the snack closet full from. Well, actually, Carissa does. Anyway,
exactly right.
But yeah. So, Cumberland. Okay. All right. My questions are jumping around for some reason. I don't know why. That's weird. But anyway, but yeah, so it's just so funny because I do come from a family that likes food and likes, specific restaurants. But yeah, Brian was a manager at D'Angelo's for 17 years. Brian's roommate, Tim, actually, who's one of my property managers now, he was a district manager for D'Angelo's, and he also is the district manager for my ice cream shops now. So there seems to be a lot of food surrounding us, But anyway.
Yes, definitely.
Huh?
I said, yes, indeed, definitely.
Yeah, so Market Basket. Well, I don't know. Is Market Basket expensive? Jen was just saying that she thinks it's a little expensive. She has to take a second mortgage out. I would say Whole Foods is more expensive than Market Basket, right?
I think Whole Foods depends on what you're looking for. The thing with Whole Foods is there are specific items that you don't really see at other stores. Like they have a vast array of like nuts, and like rice and different things like that where you can kind of make your own, bags or whatever. But there's a lot of like stuff like that you don't really see at a lot of other stores. The thing is, when it comes to groceries, in my opinion, is you do kind of get what you pay for. That's
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Market Basket is good because they charge a little more. Dave's is good because they charge a little more than their price, right? That's why like a lot of like Shaw's has really good produce, but I think the rest of the package is not as good as Market Basket.
Yeah.
Or Whole Foods or any of those.
Yeah.
Dave's.
Yeah. I'm so anyway, so you're going to Taco Bell now?
Oh, I'm there. I'm placing the order right now, actually.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, can we hear you place the order live on TikTok?
Well, no, because I do it through the mobile app. Just won't hear it, but.
Oh, gee, thanks. It would have been cool to hear you place your order.
I know it would have been. I just, it's.
Thanks a lot. All right. Well, then you place your order. I'm gonna go back to answering some questions over here and some comments.
Okay, sounds good.
But listen, save this phone number. This is my podcast phone number that I called you from.
Yeah.
Was it the 588-6666, whatever it is? Yeah, whatever the number is, 488-5555.
Yeah, 488-5555.
Yeah, it's not an easy number to remember.
It sounds like call me now, Miss Cleo.
Yep. Well, I use it later on. That will be my porno line too. So anyway,
that's all right. Aggressive.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you after. Thanks.
All right, sounds good. Bye.
Bye. All right, well, that was Bryan Butler live on TikTok. I'm glad he was able to take my call and I didn't interrupt his Taco Bell. But anyway, somebody just asked me a question, moving forward, moving on. Are my insurance costs going up with renewals? Two of his properties increased with no claims. So let me tell you this, okay? The way insurance works is the insurance agents obviously get a commission on your policies. So the only way that they get a raise, think about it here, is by increasing their cost of your policies. That's how they get a raise. If the cost of the insurance policy stayed the same, then they don't get any raise. So what I have found is that if that is the case and you've had no claims, you tell your insurance agent to find you another company. In other words, blame it on the insurance agent's going to blame it on the company. It's really them. As far as I'm concerned, it's the agent. Find another carrier. Say, look, my budget is my budget. My costs are fixed. I cannot pay anymore. Find me another carrier. If not, I guess I'll have to shop around. Well, the last thing they want you to do is to shop around. I had an agent 5 years ago who had 30 properties with me. Think about the amount of commission that agent was making. Well, that agent all of a sudden the prices started eking up. I started shopping around. Guess what? I now own 60 properties with another agent. So it's very important, insurance. The problem with insurance, I know you build this relationship with the agents. You feel guilty of switching agents, but it's business. Business is business. Your insurance agent is somebody that's in business to make money, and you're in business to make money. So if you are not having claims, if anything, your insurance should go down, right? In theory, right? Your insurance should go down, not up. So that's where you have to say to yourself, you know what? I think I need to shop around. Even if you want to tell your agent, call another agent and say, look, I have this property. Can I get a quote on it, please? Because I got to say, my insurance costs in the last 3 or 4 years have not gone up. But my agent also knows that as soon as one goes up, I'm going to say, find me another carrier with the same coverages, or I'm going to shop around to another agent. And again, they don't want you to shop around to another agent. So, you're in my opinion, your property, your increases should not go up, especially with no claims. You should not. Something's wrong there. So you got to, and that's, by the way, that's a multifamily, that's a homeowner, that's anybody with insurance, car insurance, auto insurance, any of them. If you haven't had any claims, okay, then your insurance should stay the same or go down, right? It shouldn't go up. So, because you're less of a risk, you're a good risk for them. They would love you. So I found that the agents obviously want to make more money. Agents might have lost other customers, so they have to make it up by increasing your insurance. So don't think they're doing you a favor. I might be pissing off a few agents right now, but it's business, okay? So that's the problem with that, okay? It's business, so please keep that in mind. Make money. Went from Progressive to Travels. So I'll tell you a story. So years ago, right, I had Progressive. I then went to Geico. Geico saved me a ton of money, Geico saved me. They really did. I mean, my insurance, so my homeowner's insurance, I have 5 vehicles on my homeowner's insurance. And I saved a lot of money by going to Geico. I was with Geico for like 5 years. It was great. Price never went up. It was very good. Then all of a sudden, here comes Amica. Amica contacts me, and they were better than Geico. So that's what happens. I think, again, I'm a good risk. I haven't had any losses. I haven't had any claims. My wife's a good driver. I'm a good driver. So, but again, with insurance, sometimes you have to shop around because all of a sudden it goes up for no reason. Bullshit. Find that there's another company that will look for your business and makes money. Right. You switch from Progressive to Travels, you save $500. Why not? You can have different companies quoted out. Now, I know there are apps on the phone, there's apps on the computer where they will search all the insurance companies for you. I don't know if I particularly like them. I'd rather go right to the company myself and have them quote me. Apples and apples, you make sure you have them quote you on the same coverages. But again, you want to shop it around. You have to shop your insurance around here. Why waste the money? Why give away money? It's your money, But yeah, you want to have different companies quote out. You're right, and that's important with insurance. Insurance is just one of those things where you need it. It's a necessary evil, But B, it's a good example of my jet ski. I've had this jet ski for 10 years. The insurance every year has been the same price every year, $163. It hasn't changed. In all that time. So if you have, whether it's renter's insurance, homeowner's insurance, car insurance, multifamily, if you haven't any losses, why would it go up? So keep that in mind. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Same thing with me. All right. So somebody just said he's been with this company for a couple of years. Now they want to go into the apartments. Listen, that's happened to me before. And then they're going to come back and they're going to give you a letter and they say, they call it recommendations. Here's our recommendations letter. Now, I always make fun of the recommendations letter because if you don't follow their recommendations, they're going to drop you. So they're not recommendations. They're orders. They're commands. They're demands. So that's bullshit when the insurance company does that. But at the same time, if they want to go in the apartments, let them go in the apartments. Typically, again, they want to see what type of heating systems, what type of electric, if there's going to be knob and tube wiring and stuff like that. But believe me, it's aggravating, but they want to go and do inspections. So yeah, with me, same thing on my renewals. Every year they want to do inspections. And the thing that really bothers me, and this just happened to one of my properties, is this same company's inspected my properties 3 years in a row. This year they found things wrong, that violations, whatever you call them, or recommendations that I had wrong, I guess, for the last 3 years, and they didn't catch. So the problem is the inspectors are very inconsistent in what they look for, what they find. Let them in, but if they raise your rent, you raise your insurance, I would just look for another company. That's all. I would look for another company. But it is business. Business is business, and hey, they'll drop you like a hot potato. If you have a claim, they'll drop you, so you can drop them. The frustrating part is, I know. Believe me, I've gone through it. You pay for insurance year after year after year, all these thousands of dollars, right? You don't have a claim, right? Then they turn around, they either drop you or they raise your rates. Why? I've been a good customer, right? So no, I have no loyalty to any insurance company anywhere, okay? And unfortunately, the agents might be nice people, but again, same thing with them. It's their job. They make commission. So here's the problem. Think about it. They make commission on what they sell you. They sell you a $10,000 policy. They make whatever, they're 10%, right? They sell you $11,000, 10% of $11,000 is an extra $100, right? So isn't it in their best interest to get you as much high insurance as possible, theoretically, as a salesperson, them being a salesperson? So to me, it's kind of like, what's the word? What am I trying to think? Conflict of interest, where it's a conflict of interest where they're selling you insurance, but they make more money on the more they sell you. So I don't know. When they should be trying to save you money and get you the most coverages. Yeah, they'll find different issues with the properties. That's happened to me. It's happened to me many times. The inspector will go there and all of a sudden they find something different this year than last year, right? So that's the problem with that. Because you live in Cranston, Rhode Island, travel has something to do with it. So interesting about that is automobile insurance depends on where you live. So if you live in Situate, Rhode Island, your automobile insurance is cheaper than if it's in Cranston or if it's in Providence, because they figure in cities there's more traffic, more apt for an accident. It's ridiculous how they figure it out. But that's exactly right. Big Money, your agent was right about part of that, because you live in Cranston. But then again, why? Cranston's not downtown Providence, so that's the issue, I'm getting texts actually while I'm getting distracted. I'm getting text messages on Facebook posts that are popping up over my screen, and it actually has to do with the today's promotion with Jersey Mike's giving the proceeds to Special Olympics Rhode Island. People are saying, I'm at Jersey Mike's now. I went to Jersey Mike's. It was busy. And so I don't know how to shut off those notifications. But anyway, so different cities and towns and different areas of those cities and towns do have a lot to do with how much you pay for insurance, to answer that question. So, let's see, make money. Progressive was 1650, Travelers 1150. That's a huge difference. That is a huge difference. I've always found Progressive, okay, Progressive. So here's a story for you. Make money, Progressive. So when I started Butler Waste, right, we had to get insurance. Well, just like you're a 16-year-old kid, they put you in the risk pool because we were a new company, right? So they put Butler Waste in the risk pool. Well, Progressive was the company that got us, okay? I think I told everybody the story. $2,500 a week, $25 a week, $125,000 a year for insurance. Did I tell you that? Yeah, it was $125,000 for insurance for the year for Butler Waste when I first started the company, just for to have the trucks on the road. Okay, it was awful. It was awful. After a year, we were able to switch out of that program and go to a regular insurance program. So now I'm only paying what am I paying? I'm paying about $2,000 a month for insurance, which is still a lot of money, $2,000 a month, but it was a huge difference, huge difference. Somebody's asked me about Will Smith. Yeah, I think that Will Smith was out of line. I think it was out of line. It was kind of an over-the-top reaction to a joke. Now, again, like I said, Chris Rock said he didn't know about his wife having alopecia. I believe him. Why would Chris lie, right? He didn't know it. He told the joke because she shaved her head. I thought it was a funny joke when he said it. I mean, listen, Demi Moore, didn't she play G.I. Jane and shave her head? So what's the difference, right? So Chris Rock told a joke. If he knew that she had alopecia and told a joke, well, then it would be off color. If he didn't know and he said he didn't know, then you know what? Then you know what? Then it was okay. And I like Chris Rock. I think he's funny. I think he's very funny. I think he's down to earth. And I've always liked Will Smith. I've never had a problem with Will Smith either. But that was ridiculous. And you know what? Whatever comes from it, I mean, he deserves consequences. Hey, if I go and slap somebody across the face today, what's going to happen to me? Make money. If I go over to your house right now and slap you in the face, right? What are you going to do? You're going to press charges and then you're going to sue me, right? So, I mean, why should Will Smith get away with it? Why should he get away with it? I'm sick of all these rich, entitled people thinking they get away with stuff like that. And that kind of is how it came across to me that night. Who the hell does he think he is? Insurance companies are the real robbers, just like cable TV. So I have to agree with you. I don't have cable TV, and I hate insurance companies. So I know I have to agree that it is robbery. It is robbery. It's highway robbery, insurance companies. It's tough. And try to file a claim and get paid. I literally about a month ago settled a lawsuit where I had to sue an insurance company to pay a claim. I know I'm always in trouble. I'm always causing trouble. I'm always suing this person. But what happened was there was a bad windstorm a couple of years ago. It wrecked one of my roofs and I had to pay to have the roof fixed. The insurance company would not pay for it. So I had to sue them. Again, I won. I got my, I just don't go around suing people for suing people. If I have a real good case, my lawyer will tell me, Jeff, cut the crap. But if I have a good case, he will fight for me, and he did. And I won that suit against that insurance company. So where's the economy going? Oh, it's a tough one. I'm optimistic that it's going to start turning around this summer as people get out and start doing things and spending money. I'm optimistic. Part of the problem is that a lot of people are still not working for whatever reason. I'm not going to judge, but for whatever reason they're not working. They're not working. They don't have that expendable money to get out and spend. They're just living off of the rent relief or the unemployment, the minimal amount of money they have. If they were working and had extra expendable cash, then I think that we'd see the economy get back on its feet a lot quicker. But I do think electric companies are really bad. They are the worst. They are the worst for a lot of reasons. Their customer service is bad, too, the government needs to stop giving out the money. That's exactly right. And stop making people go to work. Stop handing out the money. People bust my balls. Oh, Jeff, you're getting rent relief. What do you get? You're getting the free money. I just had this conversation this afternoon with Andrew. I cannot wait until the rent relief ends and people are forced to go back to work. The rent relief is not doing me any good. Tenants owe me $8,000 and $9,000 and $10,000, 8 months, 7 months, and I have to keep my fingers crossed hoping that rent relief will give me the money. I'd much rather have people working and paying me at the beginning of the month like normal, like it was before. I hope it gets back to the way it was. I really do. I really, really do. We have to stop spending money. The government has to stop spending money. We have to, you're right, stop spending money overseas, stop helping everybody else out. Let's look at our country first, but we have to stop spending the money, get people back to work. There's just so much money just being given out. It's unbelievable by the government. And you know what, by the way, somebody just said about Biden. It goes back to Donald Trump. It goes back to, it goes every president. Think about it. Our country's always generous, giving out money to everyone, and we need to stop it. So it's not just this administration; it's every administration. It's just been an ongoing, spigot open all the time, giving the money out. It's awful. Rent relief that's exactly right. It was good in the beginning, and now it's not necessary. People should be getting back to rent at work, and there's a lot of people that just got used to being. So here's what happened. People on unemployment, look, they deserved it. I have a lot of tenants who deserved it. I had tenants that were waitresses and bartenders and worked in restaurants, hairdressers, that COVID just wiped them out, and they deserved every single time that they got in government money. I will not take that away from them. They deserved it. I felt bad for them. It was awful, but now it's time. Everyone's back to work now. So how's the ice cream shop doing? So my 3 ice cream shops that are open now are doing pretty well. We just had a cold snap at the beginning of this week, and it's all weather related. So you know what? Beginning of this week kind of sucked. Looks like it's getting warm again. Next week, I just found out today all the equipment for the Hershey store is going to be delivered early next week, so we can get that Hershey store open. So that will be number 4. And I can't wait. I'm kind of excited about that because it's an experiment. Doing a brand type of store. So I'm kind of excited about that. So we'll see what happens, I know. People on SSI who have a steady, regular income are applying for and getting approved for rent relief. And I don't understand that either. I don't know where the philosophy came from that, because they had their money coming in anyway. So I agree with that. Does your ice machine break down a lot like McDonald's? Well, so we don't have an ice machine in our stock, so we don't need ice, but our soft serve machines break down a lot. Wear and tear. So if you're at McDonald's, you have a soft serve machine. Think about McDonald's, wear and tear, right? They're always busy, going 24 hours a day. So those machines have moving parts. They're going to break. It's like garbage trucks. They have moving parts. They're going to break. Absolutely. Oh, Thomas, I follow him. See Sroka. Oh, I think he's great. I think he is so great. I follow him, and he is so funny. You know what I like about him? He's like the happiest cop I ever met, and he cracks himself up. When he tells a joke and he laughs at himself, he cracks himself up. He is a really funny guy. So I guess from what I understand, he was on when when East Province was on the live PD. I guess he was one of the guys, and I did not know that. I used to watch it when they were in Warwick. But yes, so he is very, very funny. He's very good. If anybody doesn't follow him, it's CS Roca. So I don't know if his last name's Roca or if it's Roca, but it's CS Roca on TikTok. So he's a East Province police officer. Very knowledgeable, very down to earth. I enjoy. He tells great TikTok stories. I think he's great. And so what's funny is I started following him, not even realizing that he was in East Providence, 2 cities over from me. Who the hell knew that, right? But no, he's a good guy. Tells good stories. And he's the type of cop that if you ever do anything wrong, you want him to be the one to arrest you, because I think he would treat you with a lot of dignity and respect. But he is very funny. His TikToks are very, very funny. You manage a condo association and you have to kick rent relief employees off the property every week. Really? You have to kick the rent relief employees off the property every week? Oh, why are they over there trying to market the rent relief? That's interesting. So yeah, I am going to do another. So the ice cream challenge, what we're going to do is we're actually going to do them throughout the summer at each store, because it was really fun to do it that time, and it gave us the idea of really doing it with customers and getting people involved, and then we could put it on Facebook and live, and we do it on TikTok live, and of course on my YouTube channel. So yeah, we are going to do that, and plus we have a couple of contests that we're going to be doing with the employees this year too, which will be kind of fun too. So yeah, we're gonna do that. We're going to do that. So let's see, what else do we have? So I think tonight's live is going pretty good. What do you think makes money? Some of them, I kind of, I'm a dud sometimes, So, but, I think it's going pretty good. Makes money, disappeared on me. But anyway, yeah. So the ice cream challenge was fun. If anybody hasn't seen it, if you go on my TikToks, the pizza was delicious. Silver Lake pizza's delicious, right? So that's funny. Hey, make some money. We're gonna have to. You can come with me. We'll go to that Kraft Burgers one night next week if you want. We'll go to that Kraft Burgers. We'll meet Bryan up there. That'll be fun. $20 for 3-topping pizza. See, think about that. What a bargain that is when you think. Really, that is fantastic. Because I'm sure you didn't eat the whole thing, right? You probably saved half for your lunch for tomorrow, right? Because that was a big pizza you showed me in the text. So that's pretty good though. But $20 for 3 toppings. A couple of things we have great in Rhode Island, right? We have great pizza, right? You have to admit we have great pizza places make some money, right? Great pizza places. But we also have great Chinese food here too. I love Chinese food, obviously, if you can't tell, right? So, your girlfriend ate half? Oh, she ate the whole thing. Your girlfriend ate the whole thing? She left you one piece? So, but yes, we have great Chinese food. We have great pizza. So when I was in high school, I actually worked at a pizza place, Don's Pizza in Warwick. So I learned how to make the dough, learned how to make the sauce. So my tradition every single New Year's is I make pizzas from scratch here at home. I saw that bid that you controlled. Oh, today, the bid? I didn't control the bid. I placed a bid. I came second, but that was a house. I went to a house auction today, and I put that up on TikTok, actually. I put the whole auction up on TikTok so people could see how the auctions work here in Rhode Island. So I put that up earlier tonight. I did bid on the house, but I didn't win the house, and I'm not going to win them all, and I don't win them all. So it is what it is, and that's okay. That's okay, because there'll be more. I have not been to the Encore casino in Boston. I have not been there yet. I've heard it's beautiful, and I just haven't been there yet, And it's, when I travel, I do like to go. Anytime I travel, if there's a casino nearby, I will go to it. I just have not gone to the Encore in Boston. It opened up, and I know that the parking was expensive. It was a big thing, and, and then it was busy, and then, of course, COVID hit. So I will get there at some point, but no, I haven't been there yet. I heard it's beautiful. Been to the Encore in Las Vegas, which is big and beautiful, Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's why I didn't go make money, because I heard about that. It was $75 to park your car. They were charging all kinds of crazy amounts of money to go in there. We got great casinos. So I'm surrounded by great casinos. I mean, I told the story about, Twin River. I had never been to Twin River Casino until last June. It was open how many years? And it's only 15 minutes from my house, and I had never stepped foot in there until last June. I used to go to Foxwoods and Mohegan Sun on a regular basis. But I got this beautiful casino right up the road. And of course, I love blackjack, so I do love going to the casino because I love blackjack. That's my game of choice. I enjoy playing it. And I really, I enjoy playing at Twin River, because part of when I go play blackjack, and one of the reasons why I go to the casino is I like interacting with other people, whether it's the players at the table or the dealer. Sometimes the players at the table aren't as friendly, depending if they're winning or losing. But I like talking to the dealer. I like the conversation. It takes me away from my stress of my everyday life. It's something different. That's why I like to go. Yeah, you're right. Make money, you have to gamble, and still have to pay for parking. Not happening. I agree with you 100%. I do. I agree. Any casino that pays, the charges for parking, anything. Foxwoods or Mohegan Sun, let me tell you how inviting they are. They've always been inviting. I drive my Tesla there. When they valet park it, they charge it for me. I mean, that, and then, of course, it's free valet parking. You give a tip. But yeah, you have a valet, they charge it for me. So that's how, yeah, I know. I always talk about that. So, right now I cannot hire a painter. I cannot hire a plumber. I cannot hire an electrician. I cannot hire a contractor for anything. You can't find them, right? Either they're busy or they're at Twin River Casino, because I go there during the day and you see all their trucks parked out there. And I think that's the funniest thing. 11 o'clock in the morning, I come out of the casino, right? And there's a painter's truck, there's a plumber's truck, there's an electrician's truck, and they're all at the casino rather than working. Yeah, I can't find one to work for me. MGM Grand in Springfield, stopped there one day. There, that's a nice one. So I stopped there last summer and checked it out, and it was a nice casino. Again, I love to visit casinos. Obviously, it's a 2-hour ride for me to go there, so I wouldn't go there on a regular basis. But I happen to be going through Springfield, so that's why I stopped in there to check it out. Curiosity, But yeah, you can find a contractor, do whatever you want at Twin River, make money. You're so right. It's so funny. It's so funny because I can't hire anybody. I'll go there at 11 o'clock in the morning, and there's all the plumbers, the electricians, It's crazy, It's unbelievable. But, I was in New Orleans back in January. Went to visit my brother-in-law, Chris's brother. He teaches at the University of New Orleans. So we went to visit him, and we were only there for 3 days. Now, they have a Harris casino there. Now, every time I go to New Orleans for shows, for conferences, meetings, I always go to Harris. Always go to Harris. Well, when we were there this time, I just didn't have the time to go to Harris. I could have gone in the middle of the night, but I just didn't feel like it because I didn't bother going to the casino there. But I've been there a bunch of times, so it wasn't really, for some reason, it wasn't pulling me in. And if I'm not getting pulled in, I won't go because I feel, psychologically, if I think I have a bad attitude, I won't go because I feel like, I'm not into it, I'm going to lose. Because if I'm not into it, that means I'm going to be distracted. And with blackjack, you can't get distracted. You have to, because the cards are coming so quick, you have to make your decision. Hit, stay, hit, stay, and then, or surrender, And so that's why I have to be of the right mind when I go. Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I agree with you. Make money. I'm not going to drive 2 hours. As it is now, even though I like Mohegan Sun and I like Foxwoods, why am I going to even drive an hour when I got the beautiful place 15 minutes up the road? Yeah, the MGM is in a rough area. That's why I only visited it and stopped in because they built it in a rough area. I guess it was the only place they could build it or something. And I guess that's been a problem for them. It's been a high crime. You see on the news there's been a lot of crime and stuff around that casino because they built it in a rough area. So you're absolutely right. Make money. You're right. But let's just see if there are any other questions on here that I didn't get to from earlier. Ooh, look at that pizza. Hey, make money. Look. It's all gone. So that's a Silver Lake pizza, by the way. If anybody wants to know, that's a Silver Lake pizza. That's what it looks like. Silver Lake pizza. Make Money sent that to me to make me hungry. That's what he did. He sent it to me to make me hungry. He always does that. All right, let's see what other questions I have, if I have any. Oh, no, what did they do here now? Did TikTok change this again? By the way, they didn't update. They didn't update, a couple weeks ago, and they changed the bottom of the thing. Oh, boy. I don't know. I can't find what I'm looking for. All right. Well, whatever. I was looking for my questions. I want to answer some questions. There's a key. Yeah, the casino in Plainville, Mass. Yeah, that's the new one too, right? Make Money, the Mini Cooper. Yeah, I saw the Mini Cooper you sent me. So my Mini Coopers, both the ones I had, were both convertibles. I loved them. I told you, it's my favorite car I ever had in my life. Best car I ever had. And these were used Mini Coopers I owned. Best car I ever had in my life. Hey, Jeff, it's Joe. Hey, Joe Collins, how you doing? You cannot, that's a joke. What's a joke? Oh, the casino. Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right. But come on. It's a small casino. Ooh, Bruce Arians is stepping down as the Buccaneers head coach. You heard it from me for the first time, make money. Did you know that? Bruce Arians stepping down as the Buccaneers coach. You just heard it from me for the first time here on TikTok. Okay? There you go. I am the know. I am in the know. Doesn't say why, though. They didn't say why, but that was just a breaking news story I just got. If you buy a property with an MTM tenant that don't take care of a unit, do you ask them to leave? Absolutely. Absolutely. If they're not going to take care of the unit, why have them stay? They have to respect where they live. That's for any tenant. Any tenant. I can't stand that when I go to a property. Look, if they're just going to treat it like crap, well, they'll go find somewhere else to live, some junkyard to live in. I make my places nice, and I expect the people to come in there and appreciate it and take care of it. What did he say? Oh, there it is. Oh, you're going to start doing podcasts with... Listen, I got to tell you something. Podcasts, they're fun. They're fun. Tonight you saw with Bryan on the phone. That was a true podcast, right? Might have been the most boring thing people listened to, me and Bryan talking about Taco Bell for 15 minutes, okay? But everybody engaged. There were people asking questions. We engaged a few people, which was really cool, Oh, you heard it in the morning? Oh, okay. I just heard it just now. And you beat me. All right, fine. We are in the know. But by the way, you are in the know. You are in the know. Yeah, I saw that about Bruce Willis, stepping away from acting right now. That's too bad. I feel bad. So the only experience I have with HUD housing would be people that are on Section 8, if that's what you're talking about, vouchers. I have a lot of tenants that are on Section 8 HUD housing, and the experience with them is very good with HUD because, they pay you at the beginning of the month, so you automatically get paid, which obviously is a good thing. But B, and people don't realize this, with Section 8 tenants, they have to go through the same vetting process as any other one of my tenants. I do a background check. I check their past living situation. They have to abide by the rules. Not only have to abide by my rules, but they have to abide by the HUD rules. For instance, when a Section 8 person has somebody else move into the apartment they're not supposed to, I start the eviction proceedings, the process, and I make sure that HUD follows through, or housing follows through, and make sure that they get these people out of the apartment. Certain city housing aren't as strict as others, and they don't enforce the federal laws, and sometimes I have to remind them to enforce the federal laws, or I will call the federal government and let them know they're not enforcing the federal laws, because my tax dollars are paying for that person to live in that apartment, and not any extra, not any boyfriend, girlfriend, kids, children, extra people. So I don't have a problem. Like I said, I have really good tenants that are on Section 8 that are on HUD. Very good tenants, actually, that are on Section 8. But at the same time, you know what happens. You have one bad apple, two bad apples, ruin it for everybody else. But no, we do very well with the housing because they understand that we are by-the-book landlords. We are by-the-book property owners, and we don't bend the rules for anybody. That was not a property tax auction. That auction today was a foreclosure auction. They didn't pay their mortgage. That's what that was today. So that was just, an auction where the bank forced the auction. It went to auction. Somebody did buy the house at the auction. So now what will happen is the bank gets paid off, and the house will change hands to the person who bought it today. What's the largest cost for fixing up an apartment for me? Well, on apartments, I've spent, it depends on how bad the apartment was. If it's a complete gut job, that means it's all brand new walls, new insulation, new wiring, new plumbing. You're talking $30,000, $35,000 on an apartment, or even more. I do stainless steel appliances. I do granite countertops. If it's just a remodel of an apartment where you just do maybe a new kitchen, new bathroom, okay, then you're looking about maybe $12,000, $15,000. Oh, you think so? You think Tom Brady's going to go to Miami? That's interesting. When a foreclosure happens, do you guys get out the money for the sale? Get cut out of the money for the sale? When a foreclosure, what do you mean by that? Do we get cut out the money for the sale? When a foreclosure, do you guys get out the money for sale? Yeah, I don't understand what that means. Ever shave your head? No, I never did shave my head completely smooth. I have the razor, but it always leaves a little bit of a stubble, Yeah, no, I heard about that one. Ever buy a hotel? So I never did. I've never bought a hotel and motel converted to apartments. Of course, I am converting the old nursing home to apartments, but I've never converted a motel hotel. But the 39-unit apartment house that I own, that was built as a motel originally. That was a motel for 10 years. They converted it to apartments back in the early, about 1975, I believe. They converted to apartments. It's been apartments ever since then, but I've never done it myself, no. But you know what? Why not? I mean, it sounds like it'd be pretty easy, right? If it's already already built that way. You can't get bathroom done for under $10,000. It's expensive. It's really expensive. The thing is, obviously, the guys work for me, the plumbers work for me, the electricians work for me. I have that benefit, and I know I'm saving probably half the money because when people construction, especially remodels, I think they try to work on a 50% profit margin. In my case, like I said, everybody works for me, so when I give out prices, it's based on what it costs me. My own people, so that's the issue there. Oh, so when they sell it, do you get a percentage of the money that the bank sold you? No. So the way it works is at the auction. So today, I forget how much it sold for. Once I lose it, I forget how much it sold for. But anyway, we bid on it, we win it, we get the money. So say the bank is only owed $150,000. That's what they're owed. The people in the house owe them $150,000. If the house sells for $250,000, the bank takes their $150,000 and gives the owner their $100,000 after fees, and I get the house. If I won the house at the auction, I get the house. So if you lose your house at auction or foreclosure, if it sells for more than what it's worth, you are entitled to get the money back. The bank can't keep the extra money. So that's how that works. Well, maybe I will try it. Maybe I will try to shave my head all the way someday. So my first flip I did when I was like 36, 37. I was about 36 years old. That was my first flip. I never had interest in real estate. It came up late in my life. So not that I have regrets, because I hate saying I have regrets, but boy, I wish I started earlier. I didn't even think about real estate till I was probably 35, 36. My first flip came because a good friend of mine was elderly and he had to leave his home and he moved into a house. And what we did is we flipped his house for him. So fixed it, sold it, and the money went into a bank account to pay him to live into the apartment he moved into. So that's how I kind of got into it. It was through that. And I said, okay, this is kind of cool. So that was my very first flip. And then all of a sudden now, 2012 till 2019, that's where I really got into it and flipped over 100 houses, and still am flipping. Right now we have 4 houses that we're remodeling right now. I have one that we just sold. Actually, everyone saw it on TikTok, was the old farmhouse. That sold like a month ago. It's finally closing next week. It takes so long to close now. But yeah, so I'm still flipping. We have, like I said, right now I have 4 that we're fixing up right now, getting ready to sell. And there's money in it. There's money in flipping. No, I guess I could do it live on TikTok, but who the hell wants to see me shave my head on TikTok live? That's, it's a little weird. But then again, so everyone knows that I don't sleep, right? So I'm up all night long. Literally, I do not sleep. So like 2:00 this morning, I'm going to be bored, right? I'm going to go on TikTok. That's when you see the craziest stuff, right? All the live people just sitting there staring at the screen. And I look up top and I see all these people liking them, but it's just a girl staring at the screen, not doing anything, So I move on, you just move on. But so it just kills me. So I guess people will watch anything. Oh, your father and you own a real estate company, RE Closing Professionals. Hey, that's a cool name. I like it. I like it. Father, that's cool. Family business. Nothing wrong with that. I love family businesses. I really do. Yeah, people have to pay a mortgage. It's interesting how, people just will stop paying their mortgage for whatever reason. Now, very often, and I think maybe there's probably a lot of people on here that it's happened to, very often people legitimately fall behind their mortgage. Maybe they got sick, they lost their job, in between jobs, divorce. They fall behind their mortgage, say 3 or 4 months. Once you're more than 3 months behind, the banks don't want to friggin' hear it. At that point, they just want the whole amount, what's due. In other words, you can't say, I'm okay, can I pay 2 months? Nope, the bank will say, you owe 4 months, it's $10,000, we want it or else. Well, of course, then the hole just keeps getting bigger. The next month's another $1,500, next month. And the banks actually force you into foreclosure. And it aggravates me why they will not work with people. And they force you into foreclosure, especially the ones that are trying. Look, I lost my job, I can give you this amount of money, give you that amount of money. But these banks, they won't take the payment, they'll stop taking the payments, and they force you into foreclosure. So that's what's frustrating, I think. Did I ever flip a house and it went belly up and so no? So no, every time I've ever sold a house, I've made money. I've made less money than I expected to make, but I've never lost money. Never went belly up. I always buy the houses. I'm pretty conservative when I buy the houses. And what I'll do is I'll make a calculated risk. Okay, how much am I really going to get for this house? How much should I put into it to fix up? Because sometimes I'll buy a house and say, I'm not going to buy. It's not worth it for me to put a lot of money into it. I will not get a return on my investment. So I might just paint it, clean it, make sure all the mechanicals are working, and sell it. There are some people that want their first time home, want a home like that, and then as they make money, they can fix up the way they want. So I've sold many houses that way. It's not that I'm lazy. It's just that I can make a lot more money on a house like that. I just bought one. So I have a house that I just bought about a month ago where the house is outdated. It needs to be updated. But they already did the bathroom's beautiful, so I don't have to touch the bathroom. So what we're doing is the kitchen ceiling needed a new ceiling, so we put a ceiling in. The bathroom's in perfect shape. I'm going to repaint the whole house, put new appliances in it, and I'm going to try to sell it. It doesn't need any. I could do a new kitchen. I could take walls down, open up walls, but this particular house just needs freshening up, and it's perfect for a family. It's a 3-bedroom house, so why go crazy? But each house, I look at each house differently. As soon as I buy a house, I look at, okay, what's the best plan of action? Do I do a complete remodel, complete rehab, complete gut job? Or do I just do, paint, modernize, update the appliances, update the mechanicals, and sell it? Well, that's interesting. You have a company called Elite Software. It's an escrow accounting software. So escrow accounting is a pain in the neck. So that's interesting. So if I Google Elite Software, will I find it? Because I'm always looking for different things. That sounds kind of cool, So the big banks are horrible. So the banks, like I said, I don't understand how they force people into foreclosure. Because what they do is they make the hole bigger. You're right. They tap on the fees. They add on the legal fees. They add on the foreclosure fees, the advertising fees. And you can never get out of the hole, and it forces people into foreclosure to sell the house. And I don't know why banks do that. Look, they're the ones that have the billions of dollars. They're obviously doing something right. Well, I won't say that. They're doing something correct. Who knows? I don't think it's right. I don't think it's moral. But maybe they're doing something correct. So, it's interesting. Thought about holding seminars on flipping. So this is kind of like a seminar on flipping. I actually want to do my podcast where people can go on. We can do like a Zoom podcast where people can ask questions. That's what I was thinking of doing on flipping. I think that would be fun. You know what I'm saying? And talk about it and actually go through the whole process of the flipping. When I buy the house, how I determine what way I'm going to go. Like I just talked about, if I'm going to remodel it, if I'm not going to remodel it, that type of thing. That's something that I'd love to share my information with people, because that's where people can get hurt. I've seen so many people buy houses and completely gut it, thinking they're going to remodel it. It's going to cost them $100,000 to remodel it. Now they lost their shirt. That's the problem. When you buy a house, you have to say, okay, how much am I into it now? And here's the other thing. How long is it going to be remodeled? Now, right now, here's a good example. The way the supply chains are working right now, it's taking us longer to remodel houses right now than it used to because you can't get the materials. And the materials you can get are more expensive. So it's costing more money now to remodel a house. Those are all things you have to look at when you buy a house and you want to flip it. Can the bank take it even though they used cash to buy it? Well, no, if they used cash to buy it, unless there's a mortgage, the bank can't take it. It's only if there's a mortgage. So that's what I want. It's funny you should mention about this. I always thought that would be cool to do like a local Shark Tank. Yes, I thought that would be really cool to have a local Shark Tank show on either on cable or whatever, where you get some people that have some money, okay? And you invest in small businesses locally. I think that's cool. I thought the same thing. I thought that'd be really, really cool, and have people invest in small businesses and help them grow. So it's a smaller scale than like the big Shark Tank, and that'd be kind of a cool thing. So I did buy a couple houses at short sales. You know, the problem with short sales is the bank has to accept it. And it takes forever. Short sales take so long to go through the process with the banks because they have to appraise the property and figure out if it's worth it. And blah, blah. But yes, I'm interested in short sales. I bought a couple of short sales. You just have to have patience and wait for them. So yeah, sometimes it's just some simple updates to make some quick money. You know, I've actually wholesaled houses. I bought some houses, got such a good deal in it that I turn around and just sell it as is. That's a wholesale. As is, and made $20,000, $15,000, just as is. There you go, take it. When we were busy, at one time I had 40 flip houses that we were working on. It was a little bit much, kind of went crazy. I wholesaled a lot of them, made money, didn't have to do it. I went to the auction, bought it at the auction, turned around and sold it without even lifting a finger. You know, Butler's wigs. You want to invent Butler's wigs? Yeah, you wouldn't make much money on that. Make money, that's for sure. You know what I could do? I could shave my head completely and take Bruce Willis's place. But I'm not as buff. But I could do that, maybe, right? Can a short sale application? Yes. So if there's a short sale, that's a good question, because actually one of the ones I just bought at short sale, that's exactly what happened. If you have a short sale and somebody's in the process of buying it at short sale, then that should stop the auction. What they would do is continue the auction to another date 30 days out to let the short sale continue. So in most cases, that's exactly what will happen. If you have an attorney, they'll make sure that happens, because they'll contact the bank's lawyers and say, look, there's a short sale going on, back off. So, and that happens most of the time. So the software I use to track the rental, the rental income, we use a software called Tenant Cloud. Okay, it's a cloud-based software. We use that to track our income. We use QuickBooks to actually do the actual bookkeeping for my properties. We actually use QuickBooks, but we use Tenant Cloud to track the income, because Tenant Cloud is a nice application where the tenants actually set up a login and password, so they have a way of communicating with us. So that's what we use Tenant Cloud for, but then we use QuickBooks for everything else. The guy who didn't pay me for a year, we got half the money, was from rent relief, decided to give us half the money. We're still fighting for the other half. And he's being chased by the government for two reasons. One is, he's being chased because they stole the money from rent relief, okay, is one reason he's being chased. And of course, our bill collecting attorney is chasing him for the $9,993 for the judgment of the actual 9 months of rent that he didn't pay. So what will happen now is, obviously, I can't get extra money. Rent relief gave me $6. If I get the money from the guy, I have to give rent relief money back. I only need to be made whole. That's all I want. I just want my money to cover the rent. Your friend has a building and it's been 2 years and he hasn't been able to get a non-paying tenant. What do you mean he hasn't? That doesn't make, he hasn't been able to get a non-paying tenant. Huh. So that's interesting. He hasn't been able to get a non-paying tenant. That's crazy. No, I believe you. That's unbelievable. Wow. So just because there's no tenants out there, or that's interesting. I got a couple more minutes. That's a real interesting one. But I got to tell you, so here's the thing too. So I have not bought I have not bought a property myself in about 6 weeks. There hasn't been anything out there. I haven't found any multis. The market, there's no multis. There's hardly any flips right now. We're in Rhode Island. Oh, or what state? Oh, you're asking. Make Money's asking what state. So there hasn't been any flips out there. So it's hard to find properties right now. So what I'm doing right now is my crew is renovating my apartments. And like I said, we are working on 4 flip houses. But once I sell those flip houses, I'm not going to have much inventory. I'm lucky I have other income. Oh, they can't get the non-paying tenant out 2 years. Well, that's crazy. I wonder why. Because obviously the moratorium is over, so it's just a matter of getting a lawyer to kick them out. You're right. Yeah, I guess they could, get the tenant out. But that doesn't make sense because the moratorium's over. They should be able to get a lawyer. What state is that? I'm curious about that, what state that is. Hey, Cocoa Beach, Florida. How you doing? Cocoa Beach, Florida. It's a lot warmer there than it is here. That's for sure. Cocoa Beach, isn't that where Major Nelson lived on I Dream of Jeannie? Well, no, so that's what's happening here too. The houses are selling within hours here and above asking price because it's such yuppers, because it's such a the low inventory right now. It's an inflated inventory. I almost think the people that, especially single family people that are buying houses right now, are kind of foolish to spend all this extra money, because I got to believe the market's going to get flooded with auction houses probably in 6 months, a year. And then all of a sudden, everyone's house prices are going to drop, right? The value's going to drop. And I see that happening. But why not wait? What's the hurry? Why not wait? Oh, New Jersey. 2 years. That's crazy, 2 years. I don't understand why your lawyer just can't go and evict them. I don't know the crazy laws in New Jersey why they just can't evict them. It's 2 years. At the same time, too, though, if they owe you money and they don't have the money, have your lawyer contact them and ask them to apply for rent relief. That's what I did. I had a couple of tenants that weren't paying. Well, if you're going to stay and screw me, apply for rent relief. At least that way I'll get paid while you're screwing me. How cold is it getting in Rhode Island? Well, so let's see, it's 60 degrees there. Yeah, it's nice, huh? So, give you an example. Right now, it is, it's 41 degrees right now. Actually, it's pretty warm. But like yesterday, it was like 17 degrees. In the middle of winter, in the winter, we go down to 0. 1 degree, 2 degree in the real cold days of the winter. It gets cold. But right now it's 41 degrees, which is interesting because yesterday it was so cold. But it looks like it's going to warm up now. Highs tomorrow. Tomorrow's supposed to be 59 degrees tomorrow. So that's not bad. Actually, in the next 7 days, that's going to be the highest. It's 59 degrees. So, anyway. Oh, settlement hearings before evictions. So what's interesting here is that we don't have settlement hearings. They do have arbitration, but both parties have to agree to go to the arbitration. So that's number one. But why do they have to have a settlement hearing? That doesn't make sense. If they haven't paid their rent, you should be able to just evict them. That's ridiculous. You had 60 in Cocoa Beach. Negative 60, where are you? Negative 60, where are you? Joe Collins, 246. That's crazy. 72 tomorrow in Indiana. That's nice. Oh, yeah. So you guys are having like a warm spell? I love that in the winter when all of a sudden you have a nice warm day. So no, I don't serve. Oh, well, yeah. So autocrat coffee syrup we use when we make our coffee milkshakes. We use autocrat coffee syrup, yes, which is fantastic. You can't beat it. So yeah, we use autocrat. Good question. Good question. But that doesn't make sense. If they have a hearing and the parties decide to go, that's unbelievable. That is, well, I'm glad you're telling me that. Guess what? I'm not going to buy property. That's unbelievable. That's crazy when you think about it. You know, that's unbelievable. Yeah, obviously with COVID, the court dates have been delayed. I got to tell you something, though. I love it now. You know what they do now in Rhode Island? When they schedule the court date, they actually schedule your time now. And in the old days, before COVID, you'd pile into the courtroom at 9 o'clock in the morning. They'd read the whole roster. You'd be there till 2 in the afternoon waiting for your case, right? Of course, with COVID, they can't do that now. So now they schedule it a time. So, Tuesday at 12, Wednesday at 3. So you know when your court date and time is. What a wonderful thing that is. I'll tell you. So some good things came out of COVID. I mean, it made it more efficient for the courts to run. And it made a lot more, No, I definitely would not go to New Jersey knowing that, Yeah, thank God they don't do that in Rhode Island. I'd be screwed. I know even Massachusetts, it's tougher to evict people. It takes a few more months than in Rhode Island. But no, the laws are written in Rhode Island. I know people say, they're written to benefit the tenant. They're written to benefit the landlord. The laws are actually in Rhode Island, I think, are very fair. As a landlord, I think they're fair. They are. I mean, and as long as the judges go by the law, by the book, they're fair. Some judges, will show some discretion and bend over because they feel bad for the tenant. But no, as long as they follow the law, I think they're fair. I can live with them. I do live with them. And I think it's fair as long as they follow, the law. So, that's what they used to do too. So the Zoom meetings, so they stopped having them now. Well, they still have a few. My wife's an attorney, and a lot of the family court stuff is done on Zoom. But, so a lot of her stuff is done on Zoom. Not a lot of court appearances in the family court. But for me, like Andrew was in court today, he's going to court again tomorrow. It's real live court. They just schedule it now. But it was Zoom. Last year it was all Zoom meetings, Zoom court, The lady doesn't pay shit. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. But what type of person is that? She's going to live her life just stealing from. That's all it is, stealing. What type of life? I don't know how old she is. I don't know her story. But does she have kids? Is that an example she's sending her kids? Is she just a bum? Of course she has a free attorney from. Oh, that's the word. Listen, I feel your pain because it's true. You go to evict somebody, right? What do? They get the free attorney from the state who helps delay it, who helps, believe me. Well, that's what happened with the kid that stole the $12,000. We had him evicted last July, and then he went and got a free state lawyer who helped him stay for 2 months, and then the whole mess took place. So yeah, that's what happened. She's a scammer. She's a scammer. She's a thief. She has to live with herself. How they live with themselves, I have no idea. You know what I'm saying? She's 70. Her kids don't talk to her. Yeah, well, see, there you go. So, you know what? That's her legacy. I talk about legacy all the time. I really do believe in legacy. Legacy is how people remember you when you die, when you pass on, how people are going to remember you. So look what her legacy will be, right? She was a scammer. It's too bad. But I talk about that with, that building inspector I'm fighting with. What's his legacy? His legacy is that I have a series of TikToks telling people how he screwed me time after time after time after time, what a bully he was. That's his legacy. His children, his grandchildren will see it. And if that's the way that they want to honor their father, fine. That's great, okay? That's his legacy, okay? So my legacy is, I guess, that, I provided for my family. I was a good father, a good husband. I took care of everybody. I worked hard every day. I set an example. I employed a lot of people. And sure, people might say, yeah, he was an asshole. He complained on TikTok all the time about the building inspector. That's fine too. I have to live with that, Does your wife have a Rhode Island license to practice or a nationwide license? Rhode Island and Massachusetts. It's just Rhode Island, Massachusetts. But what happens is with lawyers, in most cases, if they're going to practice in another state, they can get permission to practice in that state if it's like a temporary thing or, if they have to serve somebody in another state. That's what happens. The states really do have a good with lawyers are good reciprocity. What is that? Let's see, reciprocity, right? Is that how you say that? You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, they're usually pretty good about it. If she wants to go, New York or whatever it was, they'll give permission or whatever, grant permission, or they'll partner with another lawyer in that state to handle the case in that state. So I think he should, listen, put the sign, that's exactly what I would do. Put the sign right, that's exactly what I would do. That's it. Tell him, put the sign up there. My tenant, put the name. My tenant, Joe Blow, will not pay the rent and refuses to pay the rent and wants to live for free and is just a scammer. Why not? Why not? One of the things I do, which people may or may not agree with it, is, which we have done this, we started doing it about 4 years ago. If a tenant is late with their rent and they're ignoring us, we have big giant signs that say, you are late with your rent, call the landlord, and we put it right in their door. So guess what? The neighbors see it, the other tenants see it, it embarrasses them too friggin' bad. You either call me, have respect to call my office, or pay your friggin' rent. So that's where I get tough, okay? So yeah, embarrass them. If they're gonna ignore and steal and not pay the rent, embarrass them. I agree with that. So, it's funny. I was going to do a billboard for Butler Waste. They're at $8,000 a month. It's a little bit pricey. But, we might still do it. But, yeah, they're literally $8,000 a month here in Rhode Island to put a billboard on the highway. We looked into it. We definitely looked into it. But what we did have done is we had a bunch of signs made up for our properties serviced by Butler Waste. Because a lot of my properties are on main roads, very popular areas. So serviced by Butler Waste. So that's how I can advertise it, kind of like billboard style, without having to pay the $8,000 a month. Yeah, Paul and Al. Yep, let them handle it. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, I would. Yeah, absolutely. Do it this week. Why not? But yeah, so we do. We put signs right on their doors. Late with your rent, put it right up there. Call the landlord. Because, you know what? I mean, embarrass them. That's all you can do. So, I call people out on things all the time. Like I call the building inspector, Aldrich Mansion, out because he treats me badly and he harasses me. But he does follow me on TikTok. Everybody knows about the violation I got, where he actually saw the violation on TikTok, which I think that's great. I think, listen, that should have gone viral. I don't know. To me, that should have gone viral. But anyway, that's besides the point. But yeah, I think putting the sign up there is a great idea. Why not? Yep, absolutely. But anyway, so I got to get going. I told my wife I'd be off by 9:30. It's 9:25 now. She's good enough to give me the break to go on here and spend a lot of time on here, So if you have tenants that haven't paid in 3 months, my question is this: have they applied for rent relief? Are they just refusing to pay? Do they not have the money? What's the backstory in those 3 tenants? I'm curious, because it's interesting. So I get that. So we have a tenant that's owed us for 6 months. So it's unbelievable. So this tenant owed us for 6 months. It started getting long. So rent relief, there's no rhyme or reason as to when they're going to approve it. Sometimes they approve it quick. Sometimes they approve it a long time. Today, we got approved for a tenant who hasn't paid rent in 6 months. But today they approved us over $8,000. So I don't know the rhyme or reason. The problem is, think about it. We've been out that money, $8,000 for 6 months. We have like 24 tenants in that position. It's very difficult with the cash flow. I'm lucky. I'm very lucky because I have cash flow from my other businesses that, I can share back and forth, loan back and forth, I should say, rather than share, but loan back and forth. But if I was a landlord, all I am is a landlord, I'd be losing my house to foreclosure. And that's what bothers me. It bothers me because I feel bad for the other property owners. They're getting screwed by people that just are not paying, It's unbelievable. Yeah, I'd throw them out, the mother and daughter. No money and refuse to apply for. If they approve, then evict them. You should go right to court and start the eviction proceeding right away. So here's the issue with evictions, right? We know it. In some states it takes a long time. Some states it's quick, but it won't start until you actually file it. Start the clock ticking. File the eviction. I have a very good friend of mine who's a property owner, who's a very bad landlord, he lets his tenants fall so far behind that he's like, well, no, if I evict them, I'm out that money. Yeah, well, you should have thought about that a month when they were late, not 4 months after they were late. I get so mad at landlords. So I'm by the book. The 16th of the month in Rhode Island, they get a 5-day notice, and the same month they're late. 21st, I file the eviction. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. This gives them time. Look, if they come and pay us, then we'll cancel the eviction. But it's crazy. It's crazy that that you would let them go that long. File the eviction. It sucks. You have to pay for a lawyer. It sucks. I know. But the clock starts ticking at that point for the eviction. At least you know now there's a light at the end of the tunnel. If you don't file for the eviction, then you'll never get them out. And you know what? Every day the amount they owe you just gets higher and higher and higher, and they're not going to pay you. So you got to file for the eviction. You just, Let's see. What does your wife think of your internet fame? Well, she doesn't think it's internet fame, but she thinks it's funny. It's funny. At the beginning, she kind of like, oh, TikTok. She couldn't stand it, right? But then a couple of funny things happened the time that we were in the airport, and I showed my license, and the TSA guy says, oh, you're TikTok famous. And he yelled it, so everybody in security heard it. So that was kind of funny. Of course, she and my kids were embarrassed when that happened. So, no, she's fine with it now. She thinks it's funny how, she thinks it's nice because I enjoy doing it. So she knows it's something I enjoy doing, It's like some guys go out and play golf. Some guys go play cards. I'm on TikTok. So she thinks it's funny, Hey, from Cranston, Rhode Island. I'm in Cranston, Rhode Island, too. Isn't that funny? Yeah, start the eviction right away. Listen, I tell any landlords, it's business by the book. Start the eviction right away. If they're going to come up with the money, that's when they're going to come up with the money. I don't like the empty promises. So, yeah, start it right away, Keith. You have to pay a lawyer to do the eviction, but the clock starts ticking. So even if they appeal it, or like for instance, I have one. All right, so we go to court a month ago. It didn't do me any good, but went to court a month ago, and he says to the judge, "Oh, I need to get an attorney." So what does the judge do? Okay, I'll give you 2 weeks to get an attorney. Continue for 2 weeks. So the guy got 2 more weeks out of me. Okay. Psychologically, it pisses you off. You got 2 more free weeks, right? But the clock is still ticking because now when you come back in 2 weeks, he can't use the same excuse, right? Now he has an attorney. I like it. More times than not, you're better off with them having an attorney because their attorney will talk to my attorney and they'll negotiate. All right, well, for instance, I got a guy that's going to be out tomorrow. He negotiated with my attorney a month ago or 3 weeks ago in court. We said, okay, you can move out for April 1st. So that's exactly what he's doing. He's moving out tomorrow. He'll be out for April 1st. That's why sometimes it's good to have the attorneys because they'll negotiate. They'll work with each other. All right, my friend can get a new mortgage on this building because he has a private mortgage. He can't get it. So I have, most of my mortgages are private mortgages, whether the seller held the mortgage or whether I used private money. But there shouldn't be any reason why he can't get it more. I convert mine all to regular mortgages. I tell the story. I use private money to pay cash for the properties to get a better deal. I then turn it into a conventional mortgage. So I don't understand why he can't get a mortgage after having a private mortgage. A mortgage is a mortgage. As long as he paid on time, they'll ask for, that's right, make money. Don't pay, get out. Get the F out. If not, you get them the F out. That's a problem. The problem that you have too is this. If you have a lot of tenants in one building and one's not paying and you're not enforcing the rule, you're not pushing the issue, you're not putting the signs on the door, guess what? That tenant's going to open up their big friggin' mouth to the other tenant and say, guess what? I'm getting away with it. And all of a sudden you got another tenant doing it. It becomes a cancer. I'm telling you from years of experience. That's why you have to stay right on it, Hey, chicken bucket, how you doing? So, let's see. And do you like dumpster on trailer rentals? So I'm just answering this question. Yeah. So the dumpster business. How do I like the rental business? So when I first started it, I hated it. Then I disliked it. Now I tolerate it. So you can see my attitude's changed a little bit in the rental business. But no, the only reason why the dumpster business, I've changed my mind on it, is because I forced it to make money. I forced it to be successful. What happened was when I first started the business, I did it just my own properties. Then when the M&M disposal went out of business, we bought all their assets. I had all their assets, and we got some of their customers, so that worked out well. But then 2 months ago, when Rollaway, which was one of the biggest companies in Rhode Island, when they decided to retire, and I bought them out, now my dumpster business is very, very busy, very successful. I'm happy about it, and it's not in my building anymore. I bought a separate building for it, so I don't see the business. It's out of sight, out of mind, so I have to deal with it. So now it's tolerable. Oh, so on the story about countersuing for the legal fees on the 300, so my legal fees on that too, because people were, I guess I was kind of not clear. That's a really good question. So my legal fees were $7,000 on that thing. That's what I ended up paying, about $7,000. A little bit more than that, but about, I would say $7,000 is what I paid. The issue was, the reason why we didn't countersue is because at that point, she had no money, not going to get blood out of a stone. Zero. I would have got zero out of her. She had no money. At this, and so that's really the bottom line. And I had it. I was burnt out on it. I said, let me move on. And I didn't want to look a gift horse in the mouth. I was happy about winning on all 6 counts there, and I was fine with that. Could I have sued for legal fees? Yeah, I could have gone back to sue after legal fees and go to court and chase her year after year to try to get the $7,000. But I would have to use a bill collecting attorney who takes a third. So then really, at that point I would have got $4,500 or so. But at that point I was just so happy that it was over. I don't know if I really made it how clear when I told that story about the getting sued for the $380,000. How stressful of a time that was. Very stressful, because for the first 3 days of that trial, it looked like I was losing. And that's why I offered him, the $50,000 to go away, because I looked like I was losing. But then that lawyer laughed at me and said, no, I want, 7 times that. So you know what? I said, okay, let's just continue with the trial. And you know what I'll do? I'll appeal it. If I lose, I'll appeal it. Well, I didn't lose, so I didn't have to appeal it. So that's what happened there. And then I think because it was over, it was so emotional, I just wanted to get it behind me. And, and it took me a lot just to come up and tell the story about it too. Somebody said to me last week on TikTok, oh, you always have lawsuits, you're always in trouble, you're always having problems, like I'm a troublemaker. I don't look for trouble. If trouble comes to me, I will fight. I will fight to the death. I will fight to the, and my lawyer is the same way. If I cause a problem, he'll defend me, but he's not happy with me. But if he thinks I'm right, like in this case, he fought for me. His partner, Heath, Heath was actually the lawyer who handled the trial for me. He was fantastic. They'll fight for me. And obviously they fought hard here and won. The issue is that a lot of people don't talk about when they're being sued. They find it to be embarrassing. They find it to be a personal matter. For me, this is all business. It's all public record. What do I have to hide? I'd rather share the information, tell people what I went through. I have nothing to hide. So I think because I talk so candidly and freely about lawsuits, who's suing me, who I'm suing, people think, oh, he's just a troublemaker. No, there's a lot of business owners, a lot of business people, and of course I own 4 businesses that have legal issues, good or bad. I just happen to talk about mine. Very, very good question. So do you brand your ice cream shops different so when you sell them, it doesn't make you look bad? So that's a very, very good question. So when I bought the first ice cream shop, it was named Dear Hearts. I did not name it Dear Hearts. The previous owners did, but it was so popular in Cranston and Patuxent Village, I left the name. Then when I opened up my second one, I kept the name. Third one kept the name. Fourth one kept the name. Fifth one kept the name. Always Dear Hearts. What happened was when I sold the stores, I would license them the name, no charge. It was part of the sale. And I would let them keep the name as long as they kept the quality the same. There was a whole verbiage, legal verbiage of not defaming the name, not violating any of the laws, and making us look bad. If they did, then they would have to give up the name. That was in the contract. So what happened was one of the stores, or two of the stores I sold, they changed the name anyway. They made it their own name, which is fine with me. I gave them the opportunity to keep the name, but they want to make it their own name, they can. The newest store I'm opening, which is the Hershey's store, it's Hershey's of Warwick, so I'm not using the Dear Hearts name there. So I have 3 stores that are Dear Hearts that are my stores. I have the new one that's opening, Hershey's, and the other 2 that I sold, those people changed the names anyway to their own names. So that's a good question, though, because you're right. You sell off a business and they're screwing it up. That's your name, especially if you have an ongoing business. If I sold all my stores and didn't have the name anymore, then you know what? Maybe I would say, well, who cares if they run into the ground, right? But you don't want to see your baby run into the ground. You want it to thrive. You want it to grow. I hope and wish that when I sell a business, somebody takes it to the next level, because I feel like, hey, I gave them the stepping stones or the groundwork for them to even make it better. I love when I see a business thrive, and so that's my thought on it. So I don't mind them changing the name. So, that's true. If I get a judgment, and then, if I get a judgment against anybody. So, for instance, I have a judgment against the kid that stole the tenant that stole the $9,000. Well, he stole the $12,000, which the rent relief has to go after him for the 12, but $9,900 of it is mine. I have a judgment against him for that. So you're absolutely right. If I'm long gone, and the lawyer finally gets the money out of the guy, it goes to my wife and my kids. So that's exactly right. So, yes. So my new CPA that works, so I have a CPA that works full-time in my office right now, Wendy, and her job is to project out before the end of the year what my tax liability will be, if any, and you make a plan to, spend that money or whatever you can do. So I'd rather spend the money with my employees or on equipment or growing the business rather than giving it to the government. So yeah, that's exactly what the CPA will do. That's a great question, because I just hired her 2 months ago, and I never had a CPA in the office. I have a CPA that does my taxes, but I need somebody in the office because of the 4 businesses, because of the amount of money going in and out, because it goes in, but it goes out. I needed a professional to help me manage that, and that's what her job is. So I thought about buying in Florida. If I was to buy in Florida, I do like the West Coast. I like where my parents are, Bonita Springs, Naples. I like that whole area, Punta Gorda. I've been to the East Coast too, but for some reason I do like the West Coast. The East Coast seems like there's more exciting things happening, spring break and all that stuff's on the East Coast, but the West Coast, it's beautiful. It's nice. It's beautiful. It's quiet. So I did. But if I bought in Florida, I always told my wife, we'll buy a multi down there and we'll keep 1 unit for ourselves to go down and, visit and stuff like that. So what happened to the Poor Sox? What happened to the Poor Sox is they're now the Woo Sox. They're in Worcester. It's too bad. It's too bad Rhode Island lost the Poor Sox. I guess they should have fought harder to keep them. I mean, it was a revenue generator. It was exciting to have, the farm team here in Rhode Island, but the governor at that time just didn't fight, I guess, hard enough to keep them. But I guess also they were asking for too much. So it's just unfortunate that they're gone. Oh, no, I'll tell you. So the highest tax bill. So the highest tax bill I've ever had, was probably $80,000 was the highest tax bill I ever had, was $80,000. That's the highest. But let me preface it by saying that's because I'm a bad tax preparer and I should never have prepared my own taxes, because that was after an audit. Since then, so what happened with me, and I think I told this story, every year I did my own taxes. I used TurboTax for business and did my own taxes. And I could handle it as I was growing, because I only had the audiovisual business, I had the ice cream shops, a couple pieces of real estate. I used to do my taxes. But then what happened was I started doing the house flipping, which is really, that's a tax pain in the ass. the house flipping turned it into a problem, and then buying more and more property. So then what happened was I'm still doing my taxes. Oh, I can handle this. Because January's slow and I have time. I can handle this. Well, I couldn't handle it because I screwed up my taxes one year and I got audited, and that's when I owed the $80,000. I immediately hired a CPA who does my taxes now, my taxes and normal taxes now. 1 year was $17,000. Actually, I didn't know anything, I think, for last year because, with COVID and everything else. So I owed it, but it was my own fault I owed it because I screwed up. Again, lesson learned. Should have had a CPA then doing my taxes. But what happened was it kind of snuck up on me. I kept buying property, and I was just doing my thing before I realized, shit, I have all this stuff and I didn't know what I was doing. So it was my own fault. So I take the blame for that. And had I had better records, I probably wouldn't even owed the 70 because when my accountant came on and showed me some of the screw ups where I wasn't depreciating certain things and I wasn't claiming certain things, that's the only reason why I owed. And I didn't keep accurate records then. So now it's completely different. And now I know I learned my lesson. So that will never happen again. Trust me, ever. Yeah, I'm going right now. I gotta go because I know we have to watch. We're gonna watch a show. But anyway, you got a free treehouse in the backyard. Yes, I did. I got a treehouse in the backyard. Oh boy, You own property on Goat Island, and why do they call it Goat Island? They own it I believe they call it Goat Island. I believe because it was shaped like a goat's head, if I remember right. I could be wrong, but that's a good trivia thing. I'm gonna look that up and I'm gonna save it for the next time that I'm on. But anyway, I do have to get going. But I'm gonna find out why they call it Goat Island. And if anybody else knows, you're welcome for the information. Listen, I really enjoyed tonight. I'm really glad that we came on tonight and had these chats tonight. This was a really good one. Now, I recorded this, so it will be on my YouTube channel. Jeff Never Had Job Security on YouTube. I put all my lives on my YouTube channel, so if you came on late and you want to watch it from the beginning, it takes me about an hour to download it, and then I upload it to YouTube, so it will be on there for either later tonight or tomorrow morning. But I always save everything for my YouTube channel. That way people can watch them on YouTube. So thanks again. All right, that makes sense. Make money. They call it Goat Island because goats live there, but I thought it'd be more creative.